All right, all right. See things a little different. Thanks for rocking with us on this lovely Sunday. Welcome to the world class. I am Noble Miguel Mario Tunica Bay, Morse America Muslim, consecrated and appointed missionary to Morse Science Temple of America. And today we have our lovely co-host. It's her show, Savannah, and we have a lovely special guest, well known around the space, the lovely Natasha Vincent. How are you ladies doing today?
I'm doing well. Nice to see you both.
Everybody's hair is awesome except for mine. So I gotta.
Don't say that.
Oh, you got a haircut.
Yeah, I don't look like breaking people's houses and steal their dishes right now.
Okay.
So I kind of look mildly presentable. I look like they would let me. Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. But let's start this way. First of all, thank you, Natasha, for coming through. Because you definitely respected around the space. If you don't know her, get to know her. She's a mod for a lot of channels. She's one of the best mods in the world. We had the lovely Gail, we got Jenny Morena, we got Savannah. Savannah's pretty dope as a mod. But then we got Natasha, who just brings a level of credibility to channels, and I'm happy to have you. Hammed up, hair is beautiful. I'm team chocolate every day, so I'm just try to, like, from time to time, I'm gonna try to grab some of your chocolate and put it on me. We had awesome Savannah. This is her show. I'm just kind of walking it through because people need to know her. Obviously, people need to see her. She has an awesome message, and I got her back. She definitely came through the channel and always helped. I said this in the video that we had a couple weeks ago, right, Savannah? I said, we have women that we ask women to do certain things, right? We ask them. We got hours and hours of talking what we want them to do, and then when we have women, not only have we not protected them, right? We haven't listened to that voice. So you guys have a space here, especially Savannah. You have a space here where all the F crap ain't gonna be here. And you again, like I said, you're gonna have a voice, the topics that you want to touch on. You can touch on without the foolery.
Yeah.
So it'd be wild out there. I've participated in it. I'm not gonna act like I haven't. I've definitely participated in the fuckery. I'm there in the fuckery factory with my hat on and my name tag, going being goofy. Yes, Savannah, you can take over. I'll be here.
Okay, so today's topic is something that Noble talks about on his channel quite often, especially in the last couple of weeks. He's been, dropping some gems about, what he thinks about polygamy and monogamy, especially on other panels. So I think it'll be interesting for us to do a deep dive into that topic today. And although we don't have someone that's directly opposing the idea of polygamy, I think we can play devil's advocate today and kind of speak for people who are very pro monogamy.
Definitely. The lovely Natasha Vincent.
Yeah, I definitely take a neutral stance on this particular topic, and I might be a fence sitter for a lot of topics too. I'm just open to the perspectives of others. But when it comes to relationships specifically and relationship dynamics, I mean, that's the business of the couple. So if monogamy works for you, have at it. If polygamy works for you, have at it. I don't know if we're going to be touching on polyamory, right? Like relationships outside of marriages, but that's also prevalent today as well, right? So yeah, I'm not in the habit of being in other people's beds, quote unquote. Yeah. So yeah, it's their business, but I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Definitely. Yeah, we, like Savannah said, we're going to be fair. And I'm gonna try the best. I'll try my best to be fair. I'm entirely biased, but we can definitely touch on polyamory because that is, I honestly think that's what is the main relationship that's going on right now. To be honest with you, we're going to get into what these words mean in a moment. That's that is kind of why I'm not on the fence, because I know what the words mean. And then I'm like, I've looked in life. I'm like, yes, what the real meanings are. It's kind of what's really going on. And then there's no honesty from all three that we've mentioned. It's a lot of dishonesty, and I'm with the non-dishonesty. I can't participate in that, and
Yeah.
that's why I enjoy the show that Lexi does, and because it's about being honest and being upfront, and I'm always team that. And just like you said, Natasha, if it's relative to what's going on, some people can, now I'll speak from the guy's standpoint. A lot of these dudes can't really deal with one chick. I see that for very, very bad reasons, but they reasons nonetheless. And you know what I mean, it's interesting. We got to have these conversations because we talk a lot in this space about improving, moving forward, pushing the so-called Black community. And my viewpoint is, let's leave no stone unturned. You know what I mean? Let's actually address it and be honest and be willing to have an adult conversation in an adult way. And yeah, so let's have it. So, Savannah, before we get into it, what is your viewpoint on, I guess, all three? Let's definitely include polyamory. You can do that last if you want, but I do think polyamory is like the main thing we've been doing.
I'm sort of like Natasha. I don't want to, force anything on anyone. I think that's actually the worst option out here, to, force someone to live a lifestyle that they don't necessarily agree with. But for me personally, I just don't see monogamy as being sustainable. I don't think it's realistic, especially when you look up the actual definition of monogamy. Most of us are not that. So I'm not really too familiar with polyamory. I haven't looked up the definition of that. I've been focusing on polygamy, but I think we should get into the definitions first, and then I will go ahead and give the rest of my take.
Yes, ma'am. Not a problem. Natasha, I mean, you kind of said it, but you.
Yeah, I'm so curious. I would love to, read the definitions that I found, but you're like the word guy. So I want to hear like your widened perspective on the definitions.
Which
you want for all three, polyamory, polygamy, and monogamy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll start with polygamy. It's the act of being married to multiple partners. Furthermore, polygamy usually takes on the form of polygyny. So polygyny is when a man marries multiple women. Conversely, polyandry is referring to wives having more than one husband. And that does take place in countries like Nepal, Tibet, India, and Sri Lanka. So I don't know if you want to go on on polygamy, or if you want me to continue with monogamy.
Oh, please continue.
Okay, so monogamy, I think traditionally is what most people have come to understand, especially if you are Christian, you practice out of the Torah or the Quran. It refers to a partnership between two individuals, often involving a public expression of commitment. If we're talking about marriage, it's legalized in some form or another, or recognized by the religion. And then for polyandry, because I left it on another document, I'm going to open that one. Let's see how quick I am. That particular description is the act of having or being open to having intimate relationships with more than one person at a time.
Polyamory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which one do you want to go over first, Savannah?
I would say let's tackle monogamy first.
Yes.
Let's get that out of the way.
Waiting my whole life now. Okay. Before we do that, we definitely got the Jenny Morena. Great day to you all. Such beautiful people on a Sunday morning. Definitely. Yeah. I think I'm the ugliest one up here. Definitely. Y'all got me beat because I only have hair. So there's that. That's how that's gonna go. So we can bring it up and read it together and look together. Let's put this banner down. We struggle stream our way to the top. That's how we do, right? We wouldn't have it no other way. So monogamy. I got their little ad in, right? So monogamy. I always have these arguments. And Sasha, I know you probably seen me or heard me talking about this on a little podcast, but I deal with I deal with etymology for a reason. The reason is that I'm well aware of social engineering, so I do what I can to bypass that foolishness and get straight to the point. But as you can see, mono, like how I do things, I call it syntaxing. Like I kind of break the word down first, but we can just read monogamy, noun, from the 1610s. So it's like around the time that they linked this word back where it was consistently used. This word is important that it says practice, right? But we're going to ignore it. Practice of marrying only once in a lifetime, right? From the French, I'm not even about to try because I can't do it. You in Canada, I think y'all better at that than us. The Latin.
La monogamie.
Huh? Say it again.
La monogamie.
Huh? Monogamia is how Latin is. Okay, we're getting somewhere with life. And then the Greek it stands for single marriage, right? Marrying only once. So, monos means single or alone. From the power root men. Not gonna get into that. It says right here, small, isolated. From the gamos, which means marriage, I'm sorry. So it's marrying. That's the thing that I have a big problem with because people don't know what that means. I gotta kind of do it the way I do it. And yeah. So what's marriage? Marriage is this. I'm not typed like y'all. I was in the hood when I was supposed to be learning. Yeah, I was outside the hood. I learned how to type late. So what does marry mean? The verb from the 13th century, marian. Of parents or superiors. Marriage means to give offspring in marriage. What monogamy means is to marry once in a lifetime. Marry meaning to give offspring in marriage. To enter into conjugal state to take a husband or a wife. But the emphasis is what? Offspring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I left out of it by mistake. So if monogamy means to marry once in a lifetime, and marry means to give offspring, what does monogamy actually mean? It means to marry, have a child once in a lifetime. That means two virgins come together and they make one virgin. And then that one virgin got to find somebody else and make another virgin. So every generation you're cutting your population in half. It's genocide. It's that simple. It's not even complicated. See, we can go look at marriage, right, to be thorough, because marriage is used a lot in this process, but you already know it's going to lead back to marry, and we already know what marry actually means. Action of entering into wedlock. State of condition of being husband and wife, matrimony, wedlock, union. It's the things we know. Nobody want to talk about dowry, right? And yeah, all these Latin words, I don't feel like fooling with it. All that today. To wed, marry, give in marriage, and you say, see, marry. So I didn't just skip it just to be skipping it. It's right here, and it takes us right here, and we're back at this word that nobody wants to address. To give is what it actually means. It doesn't even mean marriage. It means to give offspring in marriage. See my dilemma? See what stresses me out? Shout out to B Rose. We got B Rose in the building. That's what she said. Look, Natasha fan club. We team Natasha Vincent over here.
Hey, Natasha.
All day. What's up, XO Pro? What did he say? Okay. So, what do you ladies think about that? This is not my website. I didn't make it up. This is the Precious White Man, the oh so beloved white man from around the universe. I didn't make it up. What you think, Natasha?
I think that just you said
go ahead.
Natasha?
Yeah, no,
you
go ahead,
said
Savannah.
it.
This is the
Okay.
Savannah show.
This just goes to show how much we like to twist words around to fit whatever lifestyle we want to live, especially in 2022. So to have this knowledge, I think going forward, we should address ourselves accordingly. If you know you are not a virgin, you did not marry a virgin, and y'all did not create a virgin, stop using the term monogamy, especially if you know you're behind is cheating. On top of that, so that's what I have to say. So that's your topic.
Yeah, like reading the two definitions together is really interesting. So thank you for that, right? Like that's why I always love you being the word guy. Offspring, though, doesn't need to be one, right? Like you can have multiple offspring, and you wouldn't say offsprings plural. Like that's just not how that particular word works. So in terms of chopping the population in half or the descendant line in half, I don't know if that necessarily has to happen, but in contemporary society, there are a lot more married couples who are only choosing to have one child, right?
Yeah.
Like it's expensive to have more than one kid.
That's what I'm saying.
So I can hear you from that standpoint too.
So we know that we can have modifications. It's always a wiggle room with words, but we look at the thing I love about etymology is that it illustrates intent. For me to go look back in the 1300s and see that this is what this word meant, and now we in 2022 and we have no idea. All the advertisement and marketing and schooling we've had to us not have a clue about it. It's in the genocidal attempts. It seems to kind of lend to they intended to do it. I give you that you could have more than offspring, could be more than one. However, it does say once in a lifetime. It is a number associated to it. Because gamete is in polygamy. You know, when you have gamete by itself literally means marriage. Marriage on its own, all of that stands just with gamete. So when you modify it with monogamy, with mono, one could lend to one going, hey man, what you? Because here's the thing. Let's say you get with a person, it's monogamy. We get with a person, you have 2 children, right? One of the spouses die. You literally can't have another spouse. What if you need more children? What if you only got 2 girls, you don't have a son? And you need an heir. What did they do all the way back then? If you in this monogamy, and that was only in the 1610s. And I tell us here, all of us that are chocolate that are here, right? This is the 1610s. Christopher Columbus left from Granada or Spain in 1492 to start enslaving us, right? It was kind of going on a little bit before then. So by the 1500s, the transatlantic slave trade was already full go. So if we went through all of this butchering and everything, and somehow we come up with this monogamy stuff when we know most indigenous cultures, like you name polyandry, you name about less than 10 countries. We know most of the world was doing polygamy, or polygyny, really. Right? So that's why I love Lexi's show, because my position is that monogamy is a kink. It's just a kink. It's a kink. It's a kink type of relationship where the woman is the dominant and the man is. We said that last night because I know you asked. She was like, "What did y'all talk about?" We touched on it. Monogamy. When you're in a monogamous relationship, the man is the submissive, and you watch it every day, all day. You see it all the time. This dude is afraid to make her mad or not do what she wants you to do. And as a man, we keep saying these men need to step up, but they keep having to be in this kink called monogamy, where he has to be submissive to her, and she tell him what he gonna do with his penis. I'm 36. If y'all, all 3 of us had a competition on how many children could we participate in creating, I would beat y'all probably by like 5,000 children, because I can make a mom a day, and y'all can maybe make 3 fathers a year with premature births. You understand? So he's in a situation where this woman says you can't participate in their mortality. It's difficult. And the conversation never comes up. We never talk about immortality no more. It's just, can you be a good nigger and do what this lady that we've empowered told you to do?
That's a hard R.
Which one do you mind, Natasha?
I mean, I didn't watch the show with Lexi in full yet. I think I got through the first 15, 20 minutes. I'll definitely rewatch. I encourage everyone who's watching now, after this, rewatch that one or take a look at that one too. It happened last night. So the gentleman being in a submissive role in monogamy is an interesting take on it. I have heard you mention it as a fetish, which, is kind of funny when you think about it initially, but, maybe. Because when I was doing some of the research for this show, like just generally, what are the stats on polyamory? What are the stats on polygamy? What are the stats on monogamy? There aren't very many stats on monogamy. There are stats on marriage, which I find very interesting. And I mean, I do Google searches all the time. Like, I'm like a search nerd. Google gives me captchas because it thinks I'm a robot when I'm searching, because my searches are so specific, right? So for me not to be able to find evidence-based stats on monogamy and current monogamy, how it's practiced today, I thought it was really curious. I don't know why that is. I'll probably need to delve more, but it's definitely not as, maybe not as common that we think, but it's not as studied or researched. And I wonder why that is. So I still have a lot of questions about that.
Look at this. This is the other part, right? Marry, right? I mean, is it big enough? Maybe big enough. It says take a husband or wife, right? That's what it says. Take a husband or wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it says the state? Is it the church in there? Is it the state involved? It's just a husband and a wife, right? So one will argue you're not in a marriage if the state's involved. People go, I don't know, that's a stretch. Yeah, but when you study law and you see how specific it is, it's very specific. And syntax matters. Like how you put a sentence together in law makes a difference. So marriage, and people don't, I be telling it, like this person commented, she got deleted, but they said, especially when you don't have a job, etymology doesn't pay. Etymology has made me money. My etymology has saved me money because I went into a courtroom and I knew what words meant, and I didn't let the judge or the magistrate play games with me, and I dog walked his ass and I got out of the charge because you're not going to manipulate me to get me to plead guilty because I don't know what words mean, right? So if I'm looking at what marry means and it says to take a husband or a wife, nothing in this definition says the state or a country or a nation or a kingdom or a noble or a sire or a Dutch. Duchess. None of this stuff is no medium between the two. So that's a part of the way we research. We find that things like you just stated are not by accident. It's interesting. So look, I do have a few videos. Kind of what you guys take on. It's only 2. One of them is Andrew Tate. And we're going to start with that one. Let me turn this music all the way off. Appreciate everybody that's coming through in the chat. Definitely hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Let me keep this running at the bottom. Please hit Vanna. That's Van401. Hit her Cash App. So she knows it's real. And support the channel. Support her. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Just want to see you young ladies take on it with these 2 old men that's talking with shades on.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Are you loyal to your girlfriend?
Yes.
Do you want to be?
Yes.
Why?
Because I like coming home. I see a family. That's the main thing for me. And I feel like the best way to have that family is by being loyal to one person.
Okay, if you could have a woman at home who loved you and adored you and was loyal to you and wanted to have a family with you, but you could also have one other chick on the side without problems, would you do it?
Without
If you're honest to your true biological instinct and you forget the societal programming.
No, I get what you mean.
Would you do it? Because I think every single man alive, if they were truly honest to their biological programming, would say, I want more than one female. I may not want the headache. I may not want to lose my current female. But if I could keep my current one and she'd be loyal to me and she understood and we had a family and everything was cool and I had this bitch, then I'd do it. I think every single man who's honest with themselves would do it.
So what's stopping?
What y'all think, Savannah?
Despite my opinion about Andrew, I can't really dispute what he's saying. I think in an ideal world, most men would be living a polyamorous type of lifestyle anyway. So if they had the opportunity, most of them would. So, I mean, I agree with the majority of what he said.
Facts. Natasha?
Yeah, so I heard him say a key term. I think it was biological imperative, right? What then comes to mind for me is, okay, well, what about that gentleman's resources? And by resources, I don't necessarily mean financial. It's also an energy thing, right? So now you're divvying up your resources, which if you're talking about finance, right, using financial principles, you want to diversify, right? Like that's actually a good thing. But then if you don't know how to diversify, it could also be a big problem. So I think a gentleman would be wise to keep that in mind from my perspective. But I'd love to hear what you think about that, Noble.
That's a good point. I mean, you definitely make a good point. With diversification, if we look at marriage as an investment, diversification, which would be polygamy, is an aspect. However, but if you suck at it, you could destroy everything. And I think that's why it's important to look at what his Andrew Tate's intent of asking that is to get men to stop being liars. And stop entering in relationships before you're ready. Stop entering into anything before you're ready and actually be honest, because the young man is so passionate about, I mean, I really think that, you got to be to really build a family. It's one, like you sound crazy when he asks you a question and you stuttering about, oh yeah, I think I would. Are you really committed to it or not? And what's happening is a lot of these women that think they're getting a monogamous man is really just getting a liar. And if you can't be trusted, you're going to fuck up all your fiduciary responsibilities. She need to diversify from your ass. And that's a problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. When I hear him speaking and to young men, the intent to save these dudes is there. And about the things he said specifically, I mean, guys have a natural biological need to be with other women. I don't understand. I don't understand why they lie. My thing is the lying. It's the lying for me. Because even if you're in a situation where you walk away from a live like this, you hear me talking, you're like, I still want to be monogamous. Or you walk away on the other side, you're like, no, I don't want to be monogamous no more. Hey, hold up. You gave that woman your word, though. You go, I'm polygamous. That doesn't give you carte blanche to just never hold, your word. You still have to take care of this young lady. You still have to be responsible and respectable. You took her from her dad. No, I know that's ideal thinking. You took her from her dad's only place she come from. And now that you had to change your heart, you can't just switch and just run off and do whatever you want. So we teach honesty over here. So be a man, man up, handle your responsibilities. I don't teach chasing the bag, because why is it running from you? When you're valuable, it come to you. So they can chase the bag over there. It's interesting. A lot of people that chase the bag are unhealthy. So I don't know how much running you're doing. It doesn't look like it. That's a little. I gotta throw my little bangs out there.
I'm chasing the bag.
Bang.
Bang, bang. On chasing the bag, my understanding is that gentlemen are about pursuit. I think women are too. So I think that's where that kind of term comes from, just my guess. To your point about men lying to themselves, it's very interesting as a construct. I think we still live in a society, and we will for at least another generation or two live in a society that upholds the idea of monogamy. Again, because I can't find the stats and the facts, I'm not sure why, other than that's what we're used to. But as we're seeing with Generation X, millennials, they're giving a lot of pushback on the idea of monogamy, right? So
Yes.
because they feel like they've been lied to, is it because they're more open to exploring different types of relationship dynamics? I'm not sure why, but again, at the end of the day, for me, my belief, no matter what relationship structure you decide to enter into, the honesty piece is key. Open communication is key. Also, being aware that as you grow over time as an individual, what you liked yesterday might not be what you like in 10 years from now. And that's also okay, right? But if you have this habit of healthy communication, all of these things can be worked through.
Absolutely. And I think that's my main key for these two topics, I think, back to back. Whether you're talking about kink culture, BDSM, dominant and submissive, monogamy, polygamy, polyamory, polyandry, is have open, healthy, free-flowing, equitable exchanges when it comes to communication. And it's important. It's something that we do a lot. I think the only thing we do more than talk is breathe, especially when it comes out of our mouth. You know what I'm saying? And if you're reluctant and if you can't speak, whether you're single or in a relationship, and it's gonna be pretty difficult to have any type of relationship, because you at this moment, we might have been before, we may be later. We're not psychic to the degree that we can communicate with devices, and have to be honest. And you have so many men that are, and I hold it on. That's why I'm up here to kind of put it to the men to be honest and stop lying to this girl. To see a dude that is with a woman and then he's lusting over other women, but then saying I'm monogamous, it irritates me, because you're a liar. You can't be there for her. I know she sees it, so she has to lie to herself that he really wants to be with me. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to watch. It's not healthy for a child to be raised in. And we bring these conversations because, again, I'm being redundant, I guess, but the honesty level is not there. The respect level is not there, and intolerable at this point. You know what I mean? Savannah, I know you had stepped out, came back.
I definitely agree with the if you don't take anything else from the BDSM lifestyle, take the transparency and incorporate that into your relationship. That goes for everyone. I know the contractual agreements seem kind of out there, but in most marriages, the only commitment you have to each other on paper, your vows and prenuptial agreements, that's pretty much it. And we know most people are not doing that, to the T anyway. So
Nice.
Being upfront is so important. That saves you a lot of trouble on the back end. It keeps relationships together. If you're afraid to lose the woman, that's probably not the woman for you anyway. So if you can't be upfront in the beginning of the relationship, you're just going to be lying for years and years to come. I also think women are lying to themselves in the sense that they can fulfill one man's desires. And I think maybe a couple centuries ago that would have been feasible. But now when we have women who are refusing to lose weight, you don't want to look your best, you don't want to be your best, how are you then demanding monogamy? If you're going to do that, I would advise you to, at least work on yourself. Give the man something to commit to. So I think there needs to be transparency and honesty on both sides, for sure.
Yes, Jenny agrees. She said, yes, I enjoy the transparency of that lifestyle. No BS between partners. That's what I advocate over everything. Over,
Yeah.
I'm passionately against monogamy, passionately. But what's more important than that is honesty. And the great takeaway that you can have is, even if you're a guy, you're like, look, I'm monogamous. This nigga think I'm a sub. Whatever. Be honest about that. If you're not a sub or whatever, when you met your girl, she wasn't the one you was really like. They need to understand that. Like it was somebody else I was really looking to be with, but it just happened to be you because of circumstances. I think she needs to know that, because this is her life too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear to see who's a real man in this space and who's not. And integrity is everything. A lot of these dudes don't even mention integrity unless they're talking to a female or talking about a female. But I think that's the one thing you guys can take away from it. If you don't agree with me in terms of how to live, how to run a relationship, how a marriage is supposed to go, it's that it's supposed to be honest, it's supposed to be transparent. Got to be in a space where this person that you live next to in the bed, that gonna smell all your farts, that you're gonna tussle with covers with, that's gonna get up in the morning, put on your drawers or put on your shorts, washing your clothes, cleaning your leftovers up. Like, there needs to be like, and it's scary because I see people, especially so-called monogamous people, saying, I need my private space. When you were single and you lived by yourself, what did you have? You gave that up when you said, yeah, let's live together, let's marry. Like, you don't have that no more. And I don't really think that that's a healthy thing to do. Why is this person with you day in, day out when you don't have that private space? You gave that up. You were a child, remember? You had that time. All that private time before y'all met. It's over, because a marriage is not about you. When you in polygamy or monogamy, it's about your families. It's not about you. Y'all been here benefiting. Y'all being all of us being here, you've been benefiting from all of these people participating. All these people have kept you safe. All of these people have made sure food was in a restaurant, gas was in these gas stations, and the kind of payback is produce another person to contribute to that. It's really not about you. You had that time. You go, oh, I need it again. I get that, but at some point we got to be adults. At some point you got to give back. You know what I'm saying? And when I say private, I don't mean, oh, I gotta tell him what color. I gotta tell him that I'm deciding between these 3 colors for my nails. A friend called once out of the blue. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it's being pushed entirely too much to have this so-called private or alone time when this person has left everybody else. And this is just monogamy now. They've left everybody else, all these potential good people. They're just you, and then now they have these pockets in time. Sometimes it's most of the time that the husband or the wife don't want to be around them for whatever reason. Go ahead. You look like you want to say something. You say?
No, I'm just giggling. Private time in my relationship, there is alone time, but then there's also, I won't go into it, like private time, adult time, playtime, right? So there's 2 different contexts in which to think about it. But I think from a strategic perspective, there is a space for someone to take strategic time away from the person they're coupled with. And it doesn't mean like weeks, right? Like, even if it's them going golfing, or I'm being super stereotypical, the lady doing her nails in one of the 3 different colors you mentioned, right? To have that time to strategically process thoughts, ideas, conversations, and then come back into your couple, into your team in a re-energized kind of way, I think is important too. Like, there's some validity in that as well.
So I agree with everything you're saying. That's why I phrase things the way I phrase it, because we learn we learn marriage from religion. And all of those things are well woven into what you get, at least from the cultures that come from religion. All of that is there. It's at rest time, because you had to develop yourself spiritually to be the person that God, Allah, Krishna, Elohim, Yahweh Shah wanted you to be in the first place. So it's still no private time. It's still with you and God. People don't forgetting that the marriage is really, again, it's not about you. So the private time is really over, because yeah, I need that time to process. I really need to think. I need to rest. But then, if it's not the spouse, it's God. And if it's not God, it's your nation. And if it's not your nation, it's your child. So if you take a break from your spouse and you have children, did you really get a break? Because they something else. They take, there's no breaks when that baby come. Ain't no breaks. It's just everything counts against you. You can chill and not play, but clothes are going to be tore. Sores are going to be had. They're going to bump their knee. They're gonna want some. They seen some new commercial. They want to eat. You don't have to get up. I thought you just ate, but then this week they just having a growth spurt. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying. What I was speaking to is that we see these couples. I've seen these couples. A lot of the women, mainly females. I just need a space. I need a break. Then you don't need to be a mother. You don't need to. You don't need to be in that space because it's over. When you're a team player, and you like they tell us, right? They've been telling us as men, when you get in a monogamous relationship, all that playing shit is over. Like, you can't just be doing stuff, leaving the house, jumping up, leaving the house without telling her. You cannot do that. Monogamy or polygamy, you can't just hop up, run, go play with your boys and not speak to her. You got to know what you're doing, because if something happened to you, how crazy is she gonna look and feel? I don't even know where he's at. You in another state. Like, so if it's that way, it has to be that way abroad. So. And I bring those two things together because I see monogamy as 1,000 times more dangerous than feminism, because of the mindset that you have to be in to be monogamous. When most women, 99% of women are not like you, Natasha. They're not. You think, but if you ask, you can do your own test. You can show them this video and it will still happen. If you ask most so-called black females, I don't call them women. If you ask them, why do they want to be the only one? Why are they in monogamy? They will tell you, because I'm selfish. Because I don't share dick. That's what they're going to tell you. That's not a virtue. It's not an asset. Why do you get this truck? Oh, because I like to crash my car a certain way. Like, you don't need to drive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might want to catch the bus. It's a negative. I don't know. What y'all think? My God, what's up, B2B? He said team monogamy. You definitely hit that. See, and y'all know Jenny is just the sweet. She said, I haven't had a full night's sleep since 2008, and I'll sleep in 10 years maybe. Yeah, it's over. When you have a child, and I equate marriage and having children. It's the same thing. That's what it always used to be. Now we involve in the state. You know what I'm saying? The child is what do they say that a marriage is? The coming together of two people. That's a child. It's verbatim what a child is. That's what I think it is. So if you got a lady with more than one baby daddy, is she monogamous anymore? I see y'all wheels turning. Go ahead.
You said some interesting things thus far. I think that sometimes when women emphasize the need to want to be alone in a relationship, I always think, are there issues in terms of compatibility, or is the man maybe a little too clingy? I do think I'm more traditional minded, and I do think that, once a woman has kids, that she should predominantly stay at home. And if the man, whether he works from home or outside of the home, that is your alone time, essentially. So needing more alone time outside of, your husband being at work is kind of alarming, to want to get away from the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. I think that's kind of something to think about. But I do understand the concept of wanting time to yourself, definitely. But once you're in that type of relationship and that commitment, it's about the unit. You can't be selfish anymore.
Miss Vincent?
Yeah, I think with a lot of what we've covered so far this morning, goes to show the importance of self-awareness, right? So we talked a lot about healthy communication, making sure you're mature and all that sort of stuff. But you can't do any of those things or even process the idea of alone time versus teamwork time, or making sure the team is a priority, unless you know yourself as a player in that team, right? Just to use that, or to carry the analogy. So I'm just encouraging folks to be constantly working on self, right? Doing self work. And that's not a selfish thing per se, because you're doing it for the benefit of your family, for the benefit of your spouse. Because if you're not aware of yourself, you can just be doing all sorts of things, being super random, and not being as effective as you could be in your partnership, in your coupledom, in whatever relationship dynamic you've decided to be in. And then, like, what is the actual point of that? You're just wasting time.
This is a very interesting
We
conversation.
got one more video.
Oh boy.
I know. It's not as ghetto as it could be, but it's because of y'all. Y'all keeping it. No. All right, so we got this. That's the last video that I had queued up, and there's some other things that you wanted to address, Savannah. I think I'm gonna look at your notes in a second.
Yep.
Check this out.
Anything else?
1 second.
Procreation. Anything else? That's extra. The female reproductive cycle comes around once a month. For a man, it's every day. For each sexual act, the woman's one egg is matched by the man's 120 million sperm cells. Now let's do some calculation. 120 million sperm cells a day, every day, as opposed to one egg a month, every month, means, assuming all the cells are viable, that it will take only 30 men to impregnate all the women in the world. This points to one clear fact. A man is, by nature, polygamous. Monogamy and fidelity are unnatural situations promulgated by religious beliefs and social pressures. Take those away, every man would cheat. It's simply biological. Now let's look at the extra. It's a known fact that women, for the most part, are more emotional than men. So it's natural that after a sexual encounter, she'll be attached. But because a man is visual and logical in nature, there's no emotion involved. For him, it's just a physical release that's got nothing to do with love. A man loves his woman by protecting and providing for her. Period. It's really quite simple. For a man, the physical and the emotional, two separate entities. Thank you.
Olumide.
Yes,
Oh wow. I like the things that she said. Oh. I like it. What do you think? What do you think about the things she said? I like these things. Oh wow. What you think? What you think, Natasha? You go first.
So I don't think we've tackled it so far as a topic, but it's always so curious to me how these conversations always delve on, for lack of a better word, the genitals. I'm going to be super clinical. We always get this conversation down to the intimate time that you're going to be spending with this other person. Relationship dynamics, especially if, whether it's polygamy or monogamy, if you're in it for the long term, you've got to think past your pants, everyone. So I don't know, like, it's an interesting argument in terms of the numbers. I just wish that these conversations would extend beyond the pants when we're talking about monogamy, polygamy, relationship dynamics in general.
Okay, Savannah. Because I'm actually going to do that.
That's an interesting point. Whenever I hear talk about genitalia, I just automatically attribute that to explaining biology, and it just so happens we have to, talk about intimacy. But I do agree that, that's lacking in this type of space. Talking about things beyond just the bedroom. So I think that's also one of the reasons why people are quick to knock polyamory and other types of lifestyles, because they do see that it's so sex focused. So yeah, if Noble, if you could expand on on that. That would be great. Hi, Jay.
Good day, Jay Ali. Yeah, like I said, the mindset of a person that is monogamous has proven to me to be at least 1,000 times more dangerous than feminism. Y'all blame feminism for what monogamy created. The mindset of I'm selfish. Let's just leave the genitalia out of it. I don't want you to be with another person for what? To accomplish what? What can you argue to me for me to stop dealing with other people that are valuable? Like, what could you possibly say? Are you the only person on the planet? Is it like you've matched the genes to make sure that you and me match forever? You haven't done that. It's about a consumer experience. It's about watching a bunch of Disney movies and give this person this entitlement that you can control another person. What should be everybody's red flag when your skin is brown, when you deal with two brown skinned people in North America, for one person to participate in controlling the other person when that's what you whine about the white man doing? That should be like, why am I triggering this person? Because their genes has been controlled for the last 300, some of y'all say 400 years. The mindset of, I don't want you to go do, here's the mindset. You only love me if you do what I want you to do. Mindset. You're a woman, you know it's abusive to you for me to try to convince you to do things that you don't want to do. But everybody knows that males like to be polygamous. But you'll guilt trip me. That's why I put that clip in, because it was about cheating. Constantly telling a man that he's wrong for doing what nature designed him to do. When nature, the food that we eat, operates in a polyamorous type of way, flowers don't just go to one flower. Like the pollen from flowers don't go to one. This planet only exists through polyamory. It doesn't exist through monogamy. It doesn't operate like that. The animals you eat don't operate like that. Plants you eat don't operate like that. Your face don't work like that. You don't inhale only. You don't exhale only. It's a poly relationship with everything. The atoms in your face. We don't have to talk about the genitalia. We can talk about the foundation of creation. I'm pretty good at this.
I like the nose and the breathing analogy. I think where I was going with the comment too, though, is I wish there were more conversations about what serves the vision best, right? So if we're all in agreement that the gentleman is the one who leads the house, has the vision for the house, for the team, and has an ultimate legacy goal, is monogamy going to serve that goal well? Is polygamy going to serve that goal well? Are there things that are going to be obstacles in either of those scenarios or any other scenario to meet that legacy goal or distract from that legacy goal? Like that, to me, should be the conversation. But,
yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. That's why I mentioned that I think that monogamy is a kink, which is me saying a percentage that it'll work with, like 10%. You know what I'm saying? 10% of the population could probably be doing it, or less. 90-10 rule type of thing. And I think 10% or less, that situation will work. You got a lot of people that are dismembered. You got a lot of people with disabilities. You got a lot of people with mental issues. You got a lot of people that hate people, can only deal with one person. Yeah, I think it's a kink. And it's honestly, I really don't see how most people, it's like, if we look at the so-called Black community, this has been the standard for last 60 years. And we've definitely been on a decline. And we think because now we can be on Facebook that we're ascending, and we're not. We're clearly declining. We've murdered 24,146 children. I'm sorry, 24,114,000 children in 60 years. For the most part, it's because a mom want to feel like she's good enough to be the only one, and when she can't, I'm gonna just kill this little child thing so I can continue to be myself and have fun. Like the mindset is what's killing me. Mindset of the foundation of our households and the results we have leads us to say that monogamy isn't it. It can't be it, and it never was. And what culture where we were these kings and queens was monogamy this prevalent? I can't find one. It doesn't operate like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I agree with you, because I think it's an extreme. I think monogamy is extreme when you're in a society with a lot of people and your concept is mono. When you live in a household, you usually have a problem with it, even if it's a so-called single-family household, and you got one person just on that game plan. When you know trash night you got trash got to go out on a certain night, grandma coming on a certain day, but you got the teenage boy want to do whatever the hell he want to do and mess up everything for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what's going on, and we epigenetics is important, and I think you brought that up, Savannah, right? Let me actually read what you were saying. Define, yeah. So explain how epigenetics, biology plays a part in partner selection. That's why I have to say what I have to say about it, because I think if you look at that mindset, if a woman has that mindset, then you're gonna give me that. You're gonna raise my children in that manner, and I can't fool with you. That's why I tell dudes, stop dealing with chicks that come from a family that has a habit of child alienation. Because when I see child alienation, I automatically think monogamy. Because y'all not doing monogamy. What you're really doing is, I want to be the only one. Law of habit says how you do anything is how you do everything. And how the brain works is, I want to have my way. My self-worth is attached to this concept. If I don't have my way, I'm gonna hurt everybody. I gotta get into a fight or flight response. So the mindset for most of these, I want to be the only one, males too, is I got a right to attack you if you don't give me my way. It's a horrible person to be with. So where did you get that from? Was your granddad doing it? Was your mom doing it? Was your uncle doing it? I don't want to be a part of it. For the last 200 years, all you know is niggas is supposed to be controlled. And your association to niggas being controlled is, if they're not controlled, I'm not safe. And you're in a place where you can see otherwise. And we have to find a way to expand past this monogamy crap. Again, monogamy created everything that y'all blame feminism for. Because those households were monogamous in the 60s and back. And those people that they produced in the 60s were not able to fight off all of the bullshit civil rights when they should have been fighting for human rights. Not that I don't appreciate the work that they did and their intention, but they didn't produce the people that knew the difference between civil and human. This bullshit feminism where somehow we turned into the enemy when we was getting hung by a throat like you were. Because the goal is, I want to be the only one. I want to be the only one means I want to be the only one. That's why in our households now, 70 to 80% single mother rate, whatever, what is single house, just one parent type bull crap. Mm-hmm. Kind of look like you had to, that's the goal. I want to be the only one, and single mother kind of go together. That's what I've been watching. It's the problem. I know it's the problem because the evil will always present itself as an ally, aka the Trojan horse. What y'all think? And I talked a lot.
No, you don't. You talk the perfect amount. When I was trying to find, some of that information on monogamy, it was easier to find more resources on why monogamy doesn't work, right? Or why it's being challenged today. And to your point, you mentioned feminism. There was a university scholar who said there's several cultural shifts that make monogamy, complete, strict, lifelong monogamy, challenging to pull off. So there were three things: capitalism, feminism, and LGBTQA plus. I think there's a 2 and a triangle as well, equality rights, right? So keeping those three things in mind, most people don't disagree with capitalism. Well, a lot of people don't disagree with capitalism. There are definitely feminists, and that's become more and more popular, as has, the LGBT LGBTQA plus community and their rights. So add all of those things together. This is why it is so challenging and perhaps hard to find any relevant stats on monogamy. And just to double back, because you mentioned at some point, Noble, that maybe for someone who is disabled, that might be a good example of where monogamy might work. Hopefully Noble will come back and he's hearing us. But I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and it's so funny because as soon as he mentioned, Savannah, that he wanted to do this topic, it's like I heard different things about polygamy and monogamy like everywhere. Like it just became more noticeable. So yesterday I was listening to a podcast, 2020, and there's this lady who disappeared. She had mobility issues, kind of aging, but she was on dating apps. And maybe she disappeared because she was on dating apps, and one of the gentlemen that she met could have posed a problem. I don't know. We haven't found her yet, was the end of the story. But it was interesting that she was in these polyamorous setups in order for the men to be beneficial to her, because the story was like some of them would come over and take out the garbage. They would drive her to the grocery store, right? Like that was the setup that made sense to her in her mind to live a high quality life, right? Polyamory. And then the second story happened to me yesterday as well. I was waiting in the grocery store line. It was taking a gajillion years for me to just buy one banana and a bottle of water. The couple that was in front of me, a very cute couple, said, you know, after 20 minutes, because we were still waiting to get in line, but finally we were like right near the cashier, do you want to go ahead of me? And I was like, no, it's okay. It's like, I've been waiting this long anyway. What's an extra like 5 minutes? So when they did their order, my banana and water bottle were like right on their, like right beside their conveyor belt stuff. So the cashier, who was a gentleman, asked in French, but I'm translating, are you guys together? And so the guy from the couple, he said, we're not there yet. Ha 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 ha. And like we all laughed, right? His girlfriend or his wife, the lady he was with laughed, the cashier laughed, I laughed. But the whole concept that polyamory or polygamy could be just joked about in 2022, and everybody we all got the joke, right? Like it was funny to everyone.
Right.
It was really fascinating to me. Extra plus, they were, well, I don't know what they were, maybe Lebanese, maybe Italian, but I'm obviously not Lebanese or Italian. So the fact that the cashier still thought that we were together was fascinating to me, right? So not only is polygamy and polyamory accepted, but also the notion of intercultural relationships, right? And diverse couples. So yeah, that was interesting to me as well. So all signs point to polyamory. Doesn't mean that everyone's going to participate in it, but it's definitely way more accepted today, for sure.
Well, I think also, since you did mention the LGBT mafia, however you want to call it, I think sexuality and how people are identifying is playing into polygamy becoming more popular also. I have seen quite a few women in my personal life who have gone the route of pretending to be bisexual in order to satisfy a man who does want multiple women. I think that's the topic we could touch on too.
Okay.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of scenarios of forced interest in wanting multiple partners on the women's side, which I think is an interesting thing to talk about. But that's a very funny story. The fact that it's becoming more of a norm, I think that's kind of ironic. It is the norm already. I think monogamy is more taboo. If you want to talk about it, monogamy has a lot more taboo subjects than polygamy does. We don't talk enough about sex, sexual health, especially with the STDs coming around. In our community, the numbers are not looking too great. We don't talk about that in that realm. But when you get into more sexualized areas, when people are having, I'm not sure if you can say this, when people are having orgies and all this kind of stuff, they're more health conscious than monogamous people. Couples will go years and years without being tested, even though you suspect your partner of cheating. So it's a lot of weirdness going on, but I am glad it's being talked about more, even if it's in a joking manner.
Listen, sorry I had to drop off, come back. The government after me. They don't like me talking about stuff. I don't know why they be doing this to me. She said
the government and the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Lee said I got asked to join a relationship. I guess I would I would have been a dom over the girl. Probably. Yeah, that's a relationship. I mean, we're going to talk about that next time on Lexi's show. Is that dom and sub relationship with women? Period. It's gonna be fun. But I like your story because for that to exist, I mean, you in Canada, so y'all much more. Y'all much more open to multicultural relationships than we are. Even though we have here in the States more cultures, but we more that what do you call it? Racist relationship is still strong. You know what I'm saying? We're preserving it really well. So I honestly think that polyamory it is at this particular moment the main relationship style that everybody wants to lie about. I remember Savannah asking me, I think recently, do I think that most so-called black women are bisexual? And I was like, it's difficult to answer that because one, I don't think they are naturally. But the way that they live and exist today, yeah, most certainly, because you practice submitting to other women. Because a lot of these women are doing this relationship customization style of monogamy. I want to be the only one. You're doing it because you're afraid that another woman is going to shame you. Not because you really care about what this random man that you want to be the only one for, that you never met and you've been wanting since you've been 12 years old. You more worried about, you have more of a face of who's going to shame you than who you're going to actually be with. And I think that practice of submitting to other women, which is what most black women do, that's why they are the most submissive on the planet, because they submit every day to white men and other females, all day, every day, nonstop. But they have a relationship with the man of being the dominant one and him being the submissive one. That's the position I take. So I say all that in relationship to what you were saying about the story you had, is that it's open. It's at this point when you got a bunch of group of people that are pushing to be able to have sex with children, your child. I think they're going to push to be able to, stop parents from being able to stop them. I think it's time to have a conversation, and we said it multiple times. There's literally no reason to lie anymore. There's no reason to be afraid of this conversation. I was having these conversations, monogamy versus polygamy, polygyny, polyamory, about 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. And it's kind of, it's interesting. It's interesting to see to see where it is. I wouldn't say it got better, but the alphabet community is truly open. Yeah. They're getting polygamy pretty easy. The dom girls and the femme, they having a whole bunch of relationships up. They free. They have a lot of polygamy going. Well, it's not really. No, I'm not about to get into that. I'm about to get cancer. Hold on, let me make sure. Cover. Who was the other thing? Who is? Oh yeah. So let's answer this. Who is qualified for polygamy?
Ooh. Okay.
Be honest.
What I was thinking with this question was, I hear a lot that, first of all, women are willing to compromise their stance on how they want their relationship to go, depending on how much money the man makes.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't necessarily think that is essential to live a polygamous lifestyle, I do think it needs to be. Jay, look at what Jay said.
She's talking about. Oh, fuck.
I do agree with it. If you're, I'm not saying that, quote unquote, chase the bag, but if you don't have your lifestyle together, if you're struggling yourself, you're certainly not qualified to take care of anyone else, let alone multiple women. Especially if you're talking about actually cultivating relationships with all of them and not just sleeping with them. And if we really want to get into it, most men are not satisfying women in the bed. So you want to disappoint 2-3 ladies at a time. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they'll stab you. They're gonna stab you. You don't want those problems.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah, being a broke ninja, you got if you can't afford a sword, so it's not gonna help you. You gotta put the outfit on. You if you don't got no money, you gotta do something. Go on there. Natasha, what would you say? You on the fence? You are on the fence with it, but I'm sure you have a qualification. Like the couple that was behind you.
Yeah, I'm gonna think off the top of my head here, and I don't know if it's controversial or not, but almost like the genital conversation or the pants conversation, I'm not sure the financial conversation is necessarily a priority. I think it's obviously a point that needs to be considered, as is intimate compatibility, but men offer more than just those two things as their value to the world, right? So I think
Amen.
That there's more things to consider when entering into any kind of relationship. But for a polygamous relationship, I would absolutely need to see that he's got great communication skills, he's disciplined, he's got some sense of structure, order, vision. Because if those things aren't together, then again, what are we doing, right? So now it's what are we doing as a group, right? It's not just the two of us being necessarily led astray or going down this random path. It doesn't necessarily mean it's astray, but the future is super random because there's no plan. So instead of just being no plan for two people, now there's no plan for a group of people. And then if you throw kids in the mix, this is where I get slightly concerned, regardless of the relationship structure. Like the gentleman really needs to be like on the P's and Q's when it comes to discipline and vision. So that would be what I would look for. And that's what would trigger to me or signal to me like qualification.
That's interesting. Go ahead, Savannah. Go ahead.
I want to touch on a comment. It wasn't necessarily to attack men. I just think when people hear about these types of relationships, they automatically think financial stability, especially when you're talking about potentially having kids on top of that. You have to make sure your household is solid. So I think that is definitely something you want to touch on before committing to that type of relationship. But also I would say for the women, if you're not comfortable being ranked, if you're not comfortable competing and contributing in the ways you need to contribute to the relationship, again, it goes back to being real with yourself. If you have issues in terms of being territorial and possessive over a man, this is not the relationship for you. If you don't know how to be a team player, if you're talking about sister wives especially, if you don't know how to get along with women,
Amen.
and not take it out on the man or the children, then this relationship is not for you either. So you have to make sure both parties are responsible and they're not going to sabotage the relationship based on temporary, emotion.
Situation. Yeah. Who is qualified for polygamy? Oh, right. Well, did we read the definition of polygamy? We didn't actually look at the definition of polygamy, did we? We looked at monogamy. We didn't look at polygamy. Okay,
yeah, we didn't look at the definition for polygamy yet.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying. You know how I start. I got to be disciplined. All right. Oh, you know what? I forgot that I left out. Hold on. What happened? Oh, I'm sorry. Struggle streaming. Hit too many buttons at once. All right, so polygamy, right? As you stated earlier, Natasha, marriage with more than one spouse. See, it's a little older. See what I'm saying? You know how you do something, and then like 10 years later, somebody try to counter you. You know what I'm saying? Like haters, like from polygamia, whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't like Greek. Poly obviously means I'm gonna click this in a second. Poly obviously means many, and that's kind of where the Bible comes into play. Because this girl was kind of debating me. She was like, when I told her, the Bible says, "Be fruitful and multiply." She was like, "It don't mean poly don't mean multiply." I said, "Okay." I said, "All right, that's where that's like 2 and 3 right there. That's where you messed up. You don't tell me crazy stuff." Right, so word form element, many, much, multi, right? It's easy to get multiplied when multi is in it, right? Okay, so we have that. And then we have, all right, technically polygyny. I think this is more the word because that's pretty easy, but what does polygyny mean? 1980 condition of having many wives is specifically men having marriages with wives because there was a lot of weird shit going on back in the day. I don't want to talk about it. Homosexuality is not new, guys. I hope y'all know that. Marriage and cohabitation of one man with more than one woman at a time, having many wives, many, etc. Y'all see the shit. If you need me to put it in I will actually. I just put it in chat. The reason I'm going over that because I gotta address this thing that I've had to have these conversations plenty of times, like a lot of times. It seems that when polygamy come up, it's just all of these requirements all of a sudden. Because I've been watching you niggas do monogamy, and you screw everybody. You screw like JLE was putting homosexuals. It's a lot of female homosexuals. Don't nobody want to talk about that part. It's a lot of chicks that's 30 years old still living with their grandmother. That ain't never worked a day. Y'all don't want to talk about that. It's like all of a sudden out of nowhere you need a bunch of standards. So let's keep stuff. And the thing that's weird with me is like we do polygamy, polygyny, polyamory. We do it, but then we want to come up with rebuttals or disqualification when all we're saying is let's be honest about what we're already doing. But that's not the answer to the question. Polygamy is in 2022 is for people that want to be honest and stop lying. I think that's the modern definition I can give. You want to be in a high exchange with a person and be honest. Like if you have men that are not monogamous, that's what it's for you. Because you have a lot of women that appreciate that honesty because the one thing you'll lie about, you're not lying about. She really don't have to worry about you. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be transparent. You'll say whatever. I'm not gonna put the financial requirements on it because I think this space is garbage when it comes to money. Y'all are trash. I mean that when it comes to financial literacy, this is the worst sector in YouTube I've ever seen in my life. Y'all are garbage. You keep talking about 6 figures. Dummies. First of all, it's about your ROR and your ROI on your investments. The fact that you're saying a certain number is evidence that you're not good enough to have this conversation. Sit your stupid ass down. Leave it to the people that have had licenses and shut the fuck up. Y'all irritate me so bad. I don't talk about it for a lot of reasons. You make me mad. It doesn't matter. If you go read the book, Millionaire Next Door, it's about reducing your debt, getting out of debt, doing the same exact thing that you did to get out of debt to start to invest. It's not about income. It's about your return. So if a dude makes $50,000, but he somehow found a way to make his bills $1,200 a month, that nigga's free. If he found a way to make 40, but he only has to work 20 hours a week, he lit. If he found a way to make 80 and he works 40 hours a week, but he's somehow, some way saving 60% of his income. So y'all don't ever talk about none of these things. Go watch all of those cash guys, see what they talk about. They're not talking about nothing I just said. that's a guy that's smart. So that's why I want to talk about cash as it relates to poly or monogamy, because money deserves its own conversation and its own education and its own standards. I think polygamy is for men that are leaders, and honestly, I can't responsibly say anything outside of that. Polygamy is for leaders. It's for leaders. It's not for guys it's not for submissive men. It's not. So, it's not. Oh, the woman next to, I think I got that book too. Like it hit your soul. You're just like, yes, somebody gets it.
Well, I can't find the original one. I know I have it somewhere in my library. That's why I was looking up. So this is just part of my library up here. But I found Selling to the Affluent. That's another one of his books. And then The Millionaire Woman Next Door. But yeah, he's just a great writer. Net worth is absolutely more important than, your salaried income.
Absolutely, positively the truth. It's more important than profits, because how much money is your money making? Like, you're focusing on the wrong stuff, and being frugal in places that it matters. And you're not cheating yourself. You're not going to starve yourself out, but being frugal in places that for the purpose of generating efficiency. That's what it's supposed to be about, efficiency. That's why I like the guy Dan Locke. He said there's no such thing as financial independence. He said it's financial confidence. Financially confident, no matter how things are changing in the world, I'm confident that I have the skills to be able to manage, and I take that approach. I'm not worried about big numbers. I'm not worried about it, but I do want 150 million a month. So look at CJ. It's CJ for me. When you say keep, I'm not a slave owner. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you got a girl. I don't have no. I can't even buy myself through my mama's vagina on my daddy dick first. I don't got nobody with my little son. So yeah, that's that. I would say those two things. A man that wants to be honest and a leader. That is who it's for. And I say it like that in excluding a requirement for a woman, not because I can't speak to that, not because I'm not a woman, but he dictates what it is. He'll tell her. He the type of leader he is. That'll dictate what type of relationship he can be in. You can't lead. I can't lead everybody. I can't lead a chick that's like, well, I don't care about it. Like, if you don't care, you don't need to be around me. If you're not passionate about helping people or helping the people in your life, I can't lead you, because I'm gonna cut you out. You know what I'm saying? That's my position. Okay, let's look at your next question. Your next question was.
First.
Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, I would say something that we haven't talked about on the woman's side is that with anytime a man is procreating, assuming that he does have a son, it's about legacy. So we talk about that and how valuable that is for men, but for any relationship, not just a polygamous relationship, I would advise the woman, when you get with a man of that caliber, it is your responsibility to essentially become that man. God forbid anything happens to him before the children have, gotten to an age where they can take care of themselves. It's now your responsibility to continue to instill the morals that the man has implanted in you first, for the children. So I think that's also something that not just exclusive to a polygamous relationship, but it's certainly something that's the value of a real woman should be bringing to that type of relationship anyway. On top of, cooking and cleaning. And I know that point gets kind of old. Everyone should be cooking, everyone should be cleaning. But when you think about it, you're supposed to be saving this man money. You're not supposed to get a high value man to go blow his paycheck on some Gucci.
Facts.
Right? You're supposed to keep the money in the house, keep it circulating, mitigate all the. Your nails do not need to be $200 every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have children. So it's just a lot of things. Help the man. Relieve him of the stress. He should not be coming home to a war zone. So I think that's what a woman contributes to any relationship. Especially when you're dealing with multiple women under one household, you've got to keep it together. So yeah, That's just the answer to that question.
Natasha, what would you say to that question that they had over here? Bring it back up.
Yeah, my mute didn't want to unmute. Maybe I'm not supposed to talk, so I don't know. I kind of see this conversation in phases, right? Like, what is a helpmeet? It's going to be, or the woman is going to be, or should be, adaptable to that gentleman. Base level expectation is to, yeah, absolutely, Savannah, bring peace into that house. Phase 2, reduce the expenses so that you're not a source of an expense yourself, like a major expense. Phase 3, I don't yet know if there's a phase after this, but ideally phase 3, you're an asset. Like, you're helping amplify, exponentiate. I mean, Noble, you're the word guy, like whatever other word there is. Make more abundance in that place, whether it's financial, whether it's peaceful, whether it's spiritual. It's a spirit of more, an essence of more. And like I said, I don't know if there's a phase 4. Let me work on that. But I'd like to aspire to at least phase 3. I'm not perfect, but I think I'm at the point in my life where I can be an asset to my gentleman, right? And I'm more than happy to go beyond that as well. And I think that should be the goal for every woman who is a wife or in a long-term relationship. Again, this is not exclusive to monogamy or polygamy. That is our goal and our role as women.
So, first of all, I just want to acknowledge y'all too. I want the chat to acknowledge you young ladies, because the display of femininity that you've been putting on for 1 hour and 27 is world class. That's why you've been here. Lexi yesterday, you yesterday too, Savannah. These are the type of women we want in our house, whether they want to be polygamous or monogamous. Women that get it. This is the type of women everybody want to marry. You know what I'm saying? And because I don't know. I don't be having these problems. I do find them, when I want. I just, I'll be busy. I'm pretty, driven, and then I'll be trying to break nobody hard and be like, listen, I'm a little rough. I'm gonna get you in a minute. Relax. I'll get you in a second. Relax. But I definitely want to acknowledge. I want you men to pay attention to what, like, when I say femininity, I mean femininity, like what a woman is a preserver. I fight against that claim that, women are nurturers. I don't think women nurture. I think nature nurtures everybody. I think women are preservers, though. I think the way nature sets things up is that it's already designed to perpetuate itself. And then all a woman have to do is do exactly what y'all have said, and that's keep it how it is. And because it's around you, it'll grow in its natural habitat. Like, you are the habitat. You are the environment. And all your job is as a woman is to preserve. That's it. Preserve, meaning you get up and you serve. Ser, S-E-R, it means to protect. So you're protecting that which was already here. That's all your job is to do. I need you to do anything new. I don't need you to break barriers. I don't need you. That's my job. Blunt force trauma, make a new way, pioneer. I need you to just protect what has already been here with the level of care and the helpmate ability that you need. You don't have to worry about the wolves at the hill or the coming army. That's your job, to preserve what God already put together, or what the men in your family, the nation, the principles you have put together. And that's it. And you see that with these young ladies here and with Lexi, that they're preserving things that God made. And that's what we asked for. So I definitely had to take time out and acknowledge you guys, especially with the contrast, the hair. And are you natural? Because the faux locks been tricking me. I ain't gonna sit there. I'll be getting tricked. Faux locks can get me.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm tricking you right now.
You tricking me? Okay. I've been got. I ain't gonna. I admit when I'll be like, I don't know who. It's fine.
So my rule is I'm wearing faux locks until my hair goes fully gray. I cannot wait for salt and pepper locks, but right now my gray is spotty, so that's not cute to me. I need full salt and pepper locks so I can come out every day just looking like an empress, an actual empress, right? I can't deserve that title until I have the perfect salt and pepper locks. But I had natural locks in my hair since literally the turn of the century, because I'm like twice as old as Savannah, right? And it wasn't until I want to say 2015 that I went super natural. So my fro just got bigger and bigger. I've got a big fro under here. But yeah, I like the locks look. And certainly during the pandemic, it's been helpful to go back to the old Natasha, but without putting locks in my actual hair.
Did I answer the question though?
You did.
Who's qualified?
You did. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I did answer.
the idea of preservation. I've recently become better at propagating plants, right? And if you know anything about botany and how plants work, like you can make a cutting of a plant, put it in water, put it in soil, or whatever medium it is that you decide, and it grows a whole new plant, right? But from what was already there. It's fascinating.
Right. It is. It really is. That's why I'm passionate about what I say, because I'm like, if you go, okay, Noble was right. Oh, they sound good. Let me try. If you go and try it, and you just see nature, it's fucking mind-boggling. It's like what? Yeah. You just try to participate in preservation of what already is fine. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to get to buy a grocery that you've been buying all your life, and use this like the botany practices, and see a whole nother. It's like I've been wasting my life. It's crazy. It's like, man, I'm not big on it because I know I move. I'm just not a gardener. Like I wish I was a farmer, but it's amazing to see women kind of get that. Like once you see a woman start gardening, they stay doing it. They keep doing it because it's like it's a part of what you are. Stuff grows because you're there. That's how the mindset needs to be for indigenous autochthonous women around the planet. That things are great and things grow because you're there. That's the mindset I say. What I've been saying on this channel since I've been here. My goal is pretty selfish. I wanted to be a part of the greatest generation of all time because I was here. That's it. Because I was here. Your goal as a woman, that's why I don't like monogamy, because it takes that mentality out of your head. You just want to keep somebody else from something. No, things are supposed to compound, not grow. Compound because you are there. You're a preserver. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to be dishonorable. You don't have to say crazy stuff like women create life. It was alive when it got to you. Stop being arrogant. You just do your job. Men like me will make sure you get full credit. Men like me will put you where you're supposed to be praised. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to worry about that part. It's freeing. You know what I'm saying? She say, Dalllas says, oh my gosh. She said, that's my thing. We ain't living in the same house. Hey, a man will accommodate that. Cool. Say less. Well, you say that's why Natasha is my president. Facts. Oh. Natasha's winning. You run. I'm voting. I ain't gonna sit there hold you. Shout out to Tommy V. I don't know if y'all wanna. Oh, everybody call me the word guy now. That's fine. Savannah had to drop.
There's worse things. Being the word guy is pretty good.
Ain't that something? Liberty Heights and going to Northwest Baltimore. I had this so bad in the first quarter of my 12th grade year, I could have fell for the whole year. Now people know me for words. Ain't that something?
Life kind of goes like that sometimes. It's the irony. Yeah.
My mentor, he showed me some things that I appreciate. He ain't showing me a bunch of cars and all that, but what he showed me was the thing that, like, the biggest stunt I saw was his mom was sick. And they were hemming and hawing about insurance. And he just stroked a check and said, here, stop wasting my mom's time. You know what I'm saying? And she was able to live, COVID recently took her, peace be upon her. But I was 20, 21 when that happened. You know what I mean? Because he put himself in position, and that stuck in my brain. And he said, we reach our goals by standing on the books we read. That's what he told me. He said, read the books is like time travel. He said, if it took somebody 60 years to come up with this living experience and you can get it in 2 weeks, you just travel 60 years in 2 weeks. I said, I'm in. You got to tell me no more. I'm in. So when you're reading these books, you getting a deeper meaning. Etymology always been put in my face, but I never knew it as a word. And then I got in my community. and they made it a big thing, kind of took to it, because when you, to the point where each letter has a meaning, each letter is a word. And once you see the real meaning of words and you see life, it's amazing. That's why I say the words I say. Women are preservers. Femininity is not outfits, lip gloss. Femininity is a foundational universal principle that exists in the universe. It's not how you angle the picture, the angle of the camera for the picture. It's not, again, lip gloss. It's not makeup. It's not outfits. It's not hair. It's universal order. That's what femininity actually is. It's what all the niches around the planet knows. It's universal order, process, standards, preservation. That's what femininity is. It's not outfits. Cows have femininity. Plants have femininity. Yes.
Well, what would you say is the status of femininity in 2022 for human women, not the cows?
Yes. The status, non-applicable. They choose not to participate. And I rejected the statement that men say that women are masculine. You don't have no choice to be masculine as a woman. You have masculinity within you, like a rate of 20%, but you primarily feminine. So when you're a female and you're being masculine, as they say, you're not being masculine, you're being demonic. You're being treacherous. Well, same thing with a male. If a male is being feminine, you're being demonic. You're being treacherous. So they're in a place where they need to learn what femininity really is, and you just go to the creature that created it, which is Earth, the universe, or God, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't have to say so. You don't have to say so. It's just what it is. You don't like it, leave. Find another universe. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have to face it.
The multiverse.
Yeah, go to the multiverse, or hey, the metaverse. Oh, hold up. What's the virtual verse? What is it? Metaverse?
Yeah,
Whatever it's called. It's coming. Metaverse. You can go there. Just put your body into the camera and just get in there and be there. But here is universal order. That's it. That's femininity. It works. Order. Be orderly. Go ahead.
Okay. And so I think order is my love language. Order and structure is my love language. But what would you say is the first step then to get back to femininity, or for a gentleman to get back to masculinity? You said going back to earth, but like tangibly, what would be like a step for them to do?
Know ye the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You just got to be aligned with truth. I mean, I could tell you it's 2 words, but those words are kind of like, they're kind of private, but I tell you. It's I surrender. That's it. You got to know your place with a man, and you gotta. It's the most beautiful thing in the world, but they're offended by it. A woman needs to know her place, because I think that her part and kind of lose her brain, but it's yours. You got to think, if all this world has been going on, this planet has existed for a long time, but then you can just come the day that you were born and you have a place. Her place, y'all place, so-called black women's place in North America, period, including Canada, you have a place. If you have a place, that means that you don't not have a place. So you have a place where you belong. So all you have to do is find who and what you belong to. So in a relationship, women know who they belong to. You belong to him. It's not a flirtatious. It's like him. That's where I belong. He's a place. Men are the place you come from. You know where you belong. And there's no place like home.
I'm a sappy romantic, Noble. So no, I definitely agree. There's an element of humility in that, right? And
yeah,
I think people take the term humility, being humble, as something that's negative when there is like self-affirmingness in it. Is self-affirmingness a word? I don't know. Self-affirmation within humility.
There you go.
So yeah, there's self-affirmation within humility. I think it gets you one step closer to self-awareness, and to circle back to this whole topic of monogamy versus polygamy. And hopefully what folks are getting out of this conversation is the idea of being open to those two relationship dynamics, or perhaps another relationship dynamic, what you call it isn't the most important thing, but that surrendering, that humility in relationship, I think is going to be the most important thing when you find your person, right, who is able to lead with legacy, so on and so forth.
I'm looking up. Memory serves me correct. Ain't that something? Can't make this up. Look at the first word. Submissive. And when I remembered, my memory does serve me correct. I usually just go to the power root of words, which is pre-Indo-European, but you can see it means on the ground or earth. And I bring that up because femininity, like in certain cultures, we look at we have the four elements, which is consistent with the 4 seasons of the year: fire, air, earth, and water. Air and fire is masculine. Earth and water is feminine. So to be humble is to be earthy, right? Yeah, Tommy B. Somebody said it. I always keep earthy women around me. Yeah, because I keep women that are grounded. That's what femininity is. Masculinity is positive charge. Femininity is negative charge. Negative don't mean negative, but you have a car called a Koenigsegg Agera 1-to-1. It has 1,500 horsepower. It has weighs 1,500 kilograms, right? So it has a 1-to-1 ratio. It can go, I think, 247 miles an hour. All that being, I think it's like $3.5 million. If the damn battery isn't grounded, that fucking car, the door won't even open. That's how powerful femininity or magnetism really is. And magnetism always grounds out. That's where you get your grounding from. That's the power of femininity. That's the power of being humble, and that's the power of being grounded. That's why I said, you might have heard me say it, it's a really big word to me, standards. Because where else do you stand but the ground? Language is art. It's amazing how they set language up. It's pretty simple, but then the initiates, people that on the planet, they know these things. And I just be saying stuff, people just be like, you have no idea what you're talking to at all. You get more value from me, you're gonna get anywhere else on this planet. I'm telling you exactly what you have to pay millions of dollars and do Lord knows what to understand. They got people doing crazy stuff just to get the little bit that I just gave. So to be humble is to be grounded and to be centered, and that is what religion is. When you're grounded, you're back bounded to the planet. You have a bounded or binding contract. That's femininity. That's the power of femininity. Religion is feminine because you have a bond. That's why she has that umbilical cord. It's literally the same thing, and they have to exist, like CJ was saying. He was quoting you. Structure in order, and with structure in order, in that order actually. Order is extremely important, man. Because if you think if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. Y'all women, I know you just came in, Savannah, but we're talking about femininity and order right now, right? Do you want a nigga? You don't want a nigga, period. But do y'all want a man to try to stick his Johnson in you before he actually earns any type of your respect? Like your respect or any, you know what I'm saying? No, of course not, right? That's how you know order is more important in women than structure. Because y'all break structure in a heartbeat. You like order. I want you to do it in a certain order. Put my leg up here, then choke me, then slide me over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a certain order you want things to. I'm sorry. It's a little bit. This is Sunday morning. God forgive me. Sorry. But it's a certain order you want things to be done in. And it is like you said, your love language. And of course you love structure. But a man will love structure. So actually we love what we want from other people. Because we know their free will allows them to, like, it runs the risk of me not getting it. So if I'm structured, I need you to be structured. If a woman needs you to be ordered, you need to tell me what order you need me to do. What you want me to do first? I was doing this first. Why are you yelling at me? Order. We don't want the women that are disorderly. That's why I don't like monogamy, because it's disorder, because she puts herself before men. No, you need to put the man first, because again, like I said before, I need to put you in a space where you can be a preserver. I need to break the barrier. If I had to put the man first, like an arrowhead, he needs to break barrier. You don't need to be first. You're going to get tired. You're going to run out. If you look at me, I'm designed for violence. I look hostile. A lot of dudes talk a lot of shit when they're in my face. I'll look violent. I got a lot of sharp points in my face. I look like a damn demon, especially when I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm designed to break barriers. You're not just y'all are curvy and wavy and earthy and I look like a sword. You know what I mean? That's because I'm skinny. So it's just understanding them fundamental things: dominant relationship, polygamy, monogamy, understanding the foundations of things that allow people to be human. I fought really, really hard to be human. I wasn't. I come from two people that killed people and got away with it. I come from devils. I work very, very hard to be human. That's the number one thing I'm proud of. I don't care how much money I make. I will never brag about anything other than I bust my ass to be human, because I used to practice on how to hurt people and get away with it for a long time. So I spent a lot of energy to learn these things because I needed to know that it's not okay to take shit from people and get away. It's not okay to get away with it. How do I learn how to function like a human being and have some type of internal solvency? And so that, to me, that's my full answer to what is the feminine, what's the state of femininity for the women? Is that there's something that I don't have a choice in. I'm born in 85. This stuff was here before I got here. It's going to be here well after I'm gone. And my only intention is not to die twice. Is to live a life worth remembering. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? And I'd love to leave like 37 babies if I could.
That's the Cannon contract, the Nick Cannon contract.
Yes. My guy's like, I'm about to die. Y'all got to help me out now. Let's get to these comments.
I like what you guys were talking about in terms of structure, and I think that's why we do need to reiterate how important fathers are in the home. If you're growing up in a house where there's no structure, no rules, or there are rules, but it's coming from a woman that is unstable, irrational, emotional, it's just going to breed that within daughters. And then when she goes out to date, that's what she's seeking. And she hates structure. So, I grew up with my dad. He's still very influential in my life. I'm at a kind of transitional period where it is time to go underneath a man's leadership and structure. So, just to be a little transparent, it does feel like Lexi describes, I feel lost in some sense. Because I do want to be a mother, I want to be a wife, but I have to work on preserving myself. I can't just go out here because I do feel lost and make temporary decisions that will affect my ultimate desire. So structure is very, very, very important.
Amen. Lincoln Ward says, dope conversation. Thanks for giving something to think on. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Start the conversation, and people. That's a hot tag statement in this space. But I like I need to read the book again. But Miguel Ruiz, 4 Agreements, Be Impactful with Your Words. It's the type of person I am. I want to make an impact. I don't want to just be here. I want to make it matter. I was like podcasts, right? I'm a lot like podcasts, actually. Completely opposite in other places, but a lot like them. I have more intention behind my transparency. One, because I literally have no fear. It's not a good thing, actually. But I know as a leader, my mentor used to say, leadership, as a leader, you got to do 2 things: provide an example and an opportunity. And how initiates used to teach people in the past is through manuscripts and stories. So I just tell my story. So my older brother got killed when I was 8, and that's been like the motivating factor for me in life, seeing my brother dead in the casket. So I cried a lot, 2 or 3 times a day from 8 years old to 15. And then I met my goddaughter, and like I said, I was practicing being a very violent, evil person. And she was a baby. She wasn't even 1. She was like, I don't know, 6 months. And I used to fight a lot. I used to beat people up a lot. If I can't admit to nothing else, I can admit to that. And she woke up one day. My girlfriend at the time, that's where I met her from, she was watching her. So she was busy, but I know I was good with babies because I had a god sister. So I pick her up She's just looking at me and just smiling, just like giving me the craziest smile. And then she's like not only smiling, she's like looking around my head. And it was the first day I really cried, like one of those healing cries, because I asked her, I said, what are you looking at? And the whole thought came in my brain, like, you know what she's looking at. The person you keep trying to hide. Person you keep trying to act like you're not because of the shit you're doing. And I made a commitment that day. I said, if I don't do nothing else, I'll make sure she's not like me. Heartless. Right? And then literally like a week later, I was just really upset about my brother being killed, and the pressure it puts on you when you heard your whole life you're gonna die at 21, and you have a big brother who was like that guy died at 21. And I said these words. I said, I'm gonna make it matter. You know what I'm saying? And when I go to talk, I only talk to help, to make a difference. I don't like to talk. I really absolutely positively don't like to. I just started talking at like 20 something years old. I was very violent. I used to beat people to fuck up. You know what I mean? So I think our stories, you know, being a person that's in religion, have religious titles, I think testimonies has always been important. And that's why I'm passionate about what I say about polygamy, because I watch it destroy people. And I think if the monogamy, I watch monogamy destroy people. And if nothing else, the monogamy community needs to step back and say, are we being as honest as we need to be? Are we destroying people with our principles? I've done that in my life. You know what I mean? The thing I thought was real, keeping shit 100 and niggas better be this and all this hood shit. I put a lot of people in danger because everybody not as sharp as me. And because we're so passionate about things, we don't pay attention to how it affects the people behind us. If somebody behind you not as strong as you, and my mentor always said, and the OGs always said, it's always somebody watching you. Always. You know what I mean? That's why I say what I say at the end of videos. You know what I mean? So, passionate thing, you know. Shit I had to do. Shit like that. That's what I know podcast was like. What? Wait, what happened? What did I miss? I say choking at some point. I did say that.
Yeah, she did.
I did say that. Yeah, that was a little while ago. Yeah, she said that. She said, hold on, I was bringing my facts. Okay, yeah. All right. I know I went on a little monologue. It's not even my show. Savannah, why you keep letting me talk? It's not my show. It's your show. Do y'all see how I hit? First of all, let me just.
I'm not gonna interrupt you. You were saying some real stuff, but I like how the conversation
keep stuff
evolved. Go.
Yeah. It's going to naturally evolve because you have people that I knew I could have this conversation with y'all, and that's why I really wasn't worried about getting a full person, because y'all are very mature, y'all care. You know what I'm saying? That's what I realized as I got older. The thing that make me strong is not my talent. The thing that make me strong is that I care. You know what I mean? And that's what I look in people that care. Y'all care. Podcast cares. Mr. Palmer cares. Gail Knight cares. Jenny cares. B Rose cares. Tommy B cares. Big Mike Drop cares. You know, I deal with people that care. I can't deal with people that don't care. We're not gonna vibe. I'm 36. I look amazing because I'm healthy. I care about myself. I care. We have health habits, and I want to pass those to the next generation. You know, I may be wrong, but I care. It's like I got like a little slight possibility of being wrong. But you got to deal with people that care. You know what I'm saying? And care to have these conversations. I only say stuff that may offend people because, as far as I know it, it's the truth. And I think monogamy needs to be about all things need to be reevaluated, and leave no stone unturned. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Transparency and communicating what it is that you want from your partner.
I don't know. Did we did we hit all your
look at the poll, actually.
Oh yeah, poll. What the poll was? Hey, we was getting team polygamy. We was getting whooped. I ain't gonna sit there. I looked a couple of times. Let me see where we at. We did get 23 votes. It's been up for 2 hours. We have Team Polygamy is, running away with it, 48%. I'm sorry, Team Monogamy is running away with it, 48%. Team Polygamy is 26%. Team Boffum, Boffum. When you got ghetto people like me, you got to be. I'm sorry. Listen, Natasha, I'm sorry. I know you not. You just so high class and just high value woman in over there. And I'm just being ghetto. I can't help it. It just come out of all the ghetto come out. So yeah, y'all. The poll we up. She said I curled too. Appreciate it. I don't know how to say your thing. I actually don't know how to say your name.
Spaces.
Spaces. I hate this. I hate this. Y'all be finessing me with the got it. I'm trying to pronounce the damn words and shit. What's going on, Malcolm Charles? Appreciate you coming through. CeeLo Myers, appreciate you coming through. Mr. Goodbread. So the truth is a real man's love language. I'm with that. So structure and order is a perfect match. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So I think did we get to all your questions? Because you said what? Why are women against polygamy?
Yeah, I think that we covered that enough. I think it's a selfishness, a jealousy issue. That's basically it. And I think there's also a lack of desire to compete for the mate people say they want. I think monogamy kind of enforces that there's someone for everyone and that you can accept me as I am. Whereas if you're in a relationship where it's clear, it's cut and dry what you're supposed to be providing, I think that intimidates people from wanting to enter into those types of relationships. Hence why people don't communicate. It's much easier to hide when there's a lack of communication. So,
Natasha.
Yeah, it can be challenging for people to be vulnerable, and that's what is required in, again, any relationship structure that's going to be effective and long-term. So we talked a lot about the open communication, mature communication, self-awareness, teamwork. It's not a monogamy or polygamy thing. It's like I'm an adult in a relationship thing. So how do we make this work? Perhaps in a future conversation, because I don't know how much time the two of you have today, addressing the whole concept of cheating, because if you have open communication, one gentleman in the chat talked about the love language of men being truth, right? So then if that's the case, and I don't deny that it is, why is cheating so much of a conversation? Or are we calling cheating when we're really talking about something else? That's just a personal curiosity. And then from a tangible kind of aspect, because I'm always about logistics, whether it's monogamy or polygamy or polyamory, again, whatever relationship dynamic you're in, if you're being truthful, if there's open communication, then the worries about STDs, STIs, health implications when it comes to having multiple partners should ideally be reduced, right? But if you're not having these conversations, it's a very high risk situation. Again, if you're bringing kids into it, my whole thing in that dynamic, if you're not being truthful, now the mom is sick because the gentleman in the relationship has had all these other relationships, brought something home. Who's taking care of these kids now? Hopefully it's one of the other ones that the gentleman was with. Like, I don't know how thought out that is. And so that's always like the most major concern in relationship dynamics that don't have that communication piece, because I'm all about health, mental health, physical health. So that should definitely be a part of the conversation as well. How are we going to maintain our health for the longevity and the legacy? It always comes back to that for me.
Listen, I ain't hit it all day because I like the music that Savannah selected. But I listen, it gotta be up. We gotta get like 3 of these in.
Bang, 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 bang,
Y'all been
bang,
killing it
bang,
today. This one more.
bang,
This one more.
bang, 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 bang.
Y'all killing it.
No.
Here's the thing. Um, why are women against polygamy? I got one short answer. It's because their self worth and value system is attached to monogamy. It's plain and simple because of how they've been raised and through shame. It's really it's just that simple. They know they're going to get attacked um, if they let males get what they want because that's just the concept of being a black female today. You got to make a man stop doing what he's doing and make him do what you want him to do because he's the submissive and you the dominant. And that's just pretty much it. Obviously, the stats and logistics is what, Natasha? It's 2 million more black females in North America than it is males.
You're telling me, I didn't know.
Yeah. So it's just that like Savannah just said, you the fear of competing with each other for a man is real because and it's crazy. That's why I talk about the cause of all of this. At least the cause of people's lives is how they're being the type of mothers that black females are. Horrible. Horrible. And I don't care how you feel about it. It's horrible. That's why I said femininity is gone because they don't give children. If you look at black females and what they say they want, because I don't care about white females, because I have nothing to do with my life. They don't give that same mercy to children. They kind of use what they fear from a man to practice. It's like this masochist type of. It's weird as fuck, and they don't give it to the children. They abuse the fuck out of them, and they guilt trip the children and make sure the children don't experience any pleasure outside of them. So a lot of these young ladies are being undermined by older women who failed and don't want them to get the same attention that they couldn't get or they can't get anymore. And that's really what it is. So their self-worth, they fight it because their identity based off movies, TV, shame is bonded and limited and restricted to I gotta be the only one or this fake version of monogamy. Because when you ask them, hey, what do you want in a man? Oh, I want a man that's gonna put me first and then I want to be the only one. Like a kid, she don't mention the type of dad he gonna be. She don't mention him being whether he whooped a chick ass before. They don't mention do he work out? Does he communicate well? It's just I want to be the only one. Because that's her identity. A man that loves me is a man that just make me be the only one. Like that the fuck is that? Like what are you okay? And then what you want them to land? So what incentive do these males have to not be bums? Not be what Jay Ali said, homosexual. Because all he got to do is just she be the only one, and okay, cool, all right. And then she be the one that she trying to get with me, lying to me about him. Okay, because I don't have time for it. Amen. Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
You're doing
You have. Do you want to go over your takes? You almost done with this. You said everyone being cheap.
I think I never got the obsession that girls my age especially have with being cheated on and cheating. It's a very alarming thing. I've never once been asked the question, what do I want in a man? And the first thing that comes to my mind is loyalty. I think it's also important to define what is a man being loyal versus a woman being loyal. And there are going to be double standards, at least, and in my perspective, there should be double standards. I don't think a woman should be able to step out and be taken back because you are you're his property. It's not the other way around. So I think a man being loyal is not strictly confined to where his penis goes necessarily. If he's not out here giving another woman the same thing, the same thing that he's giving you, it's not necessarily cheating or being disloyal, especially if you've communicated that beforehand. So, and I don't know. If everyone if you're getting cheated on by multiple people, I'm not saying it's your fault. Men should not be. You should not be telling a woman one thing and doing another. That's period. But
Amen.
outside of that,
That's facts.
if every relationship you're in, you're getting cheated on, maybe you're not doing something correctly. Maybe you are not selecting your mate correctly. It's just at some point you got to take a step back and look at yourself. Again, not blaming the people. I see what Jay's saying. It's men do lie, of course, but if you're recognizing a pattern in yourself, it's and you can't discern who is able to tell the truth or not. Let's be honest. Women, we know when a man is lying to us. Let's stop the cap. You know when he's lying, and you know when you're telling yourself what you want to hear. So if you continue forward after you have that gut feeling, we always talk about intuition, and you push past that, that's no longer that man's problem, right? As if you're in your femininity, when you notice something, that's your time to take action, all right? Not yelling at him, putting your index finger against his temples. That's not how you solve problems, right? You bring it to him in a way where it does hurt your feelings. Whatever your thing is, present that to your man, not on social media, present it to him, and y'all go from there, right? The way women are trying to solve issues is counterproductive to what you actually want. So
absolutely,
I don't know.
You said it all. Ain't don't offend what I don't know, because Natasha with the wisdom.
This is my social media rant. I'll try to make it very succinct.
No. Listen, talk your shit. It's your turn. It's your time. I've been waiting for you to go. Yes, go ahead, rant. Because you were just asking about cheating, so it's perfect.
Yeah, and to your point, Savannah, when it comes to having those conversations, especially if it's about fidelity, right? We didn't use that term yet. Like the opposite of cheating, I would assume, is fidelity. Yeah, Noble, you can correct me, but folks are willing to have more open and more vulnerable conversations on social media with random people than with the person that is like right beside. It boggles my brain to like it beyond boggles my brain. I don't know why that is, but I think the world would be in a far different place if we could take the vulnerability that we practice in social media and like bring it in, like literally bring it in-house into your own relationships. It would be a lot better.
That wasn't bad. Wasn't a rant.
Right.
You ain't pop your neck and you know what, I'm tired of this one. Oh, you about to quote her. You about to quote her now? All right, let's see what JLA says. She says, honesty is the best policy because nobody's choice gets taken away. I love that. Some people want to be monogamous, someone poly, but no one should be tricked into doing something. That's an absolute fact. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think even through the alphabet stuff, nobody should be manipulated and tricked into something. Transparency, as we said, honesty, and I've had it. I have more respect for myself as a man, honestly. That I met a lot of women in my life, especially when I was in my 20s, and my 20s, I was going crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. But when I knew it wasn't the type of woman that I could be in a relationship with, I told her that. And then once I got a little older, I'm like, yeah, I'm not monogamous. I'm not even. The respect women have for you, they still want to have sex with you, and they still want to talk with you because you're not a liar, and the communication is open, and it's just much more respectable. Like, I respect you because you don't lie. Like, I don't. You guys don't understand. It's an entire different world when you're not a liar. You never know what the opposite sex is willing to do when you're not a liar, bro. I wish you do stop lying, bro. Because at the end of the day, I have to look at it like, what if I have a daughter and she out here with you lying ass niggas? I'm gonna hurt you. You trick my daughter, I'm gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna sit there lie to you. I'm gonna enjoy it. What would Denzel say in the movie? The only thing that's gonna make me sad is I only get to kill you once. That's it. And let me see. Shout out to Lucky.
Another way. Sorry, go ahead, Nicole.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, to put it another way, lying is limiting. I think people think lying is going to give them extra room to do whatever it is they think they need to do, or extra space, but it's actually super limiting. You've got to remember the lie. You got to be stable with the lie. Like, it's just so limiting. So why not just focus on the truth and have, like you said, like more expansive opportunity in that truth that you're living?
Facts. The way I look at it, being honest, I look at it as it's an efficiency mechanism. I kind of look at it from a financial standpoint. Is because I know it's going to be a loss. It's a mitigation aspect. I'd rather take the loss early than take the loss later. Like, get the tooth fixed now versus getting it later. It's like, pay me now or pay me later, but don't do both. You know what I'm saying? So it'll hurt. Oh my gosh, she looked good. Everything was great, but we don't work. Let's move on. Versus me, I think I can get away with it with a couple of months, and then she orgasms, and then that's a whole different person, and then she have a baby, and that's a whole different person. All women are like three women in all one. You know what I'm saying? It's probably no matter what. You get three different women. You get the girl you met, and then I have sex, and she come or don't come. She's gonna be different after that. Then when the baby come, every girl is three girls. So I couldn't have 8. I ain't gonna sit a lot there. I give up.
That's a whole show by itself. I love that theory.
Oh, listen, I got evidence. I'm pretty sure a lot of men listen, it's a whole different. Well, like, what you just want? They had a music in the songs, right, about the guy changing, and you was this way in the beginning. Women be doing that too. When we first meet y'all so professional. You be putting your work voice on, all this type of stuff. Yeah, I work here, I'm doing it. And then it's like you realize, like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep with him. Then we sleep with you. Then it's like you wake up that next day a whole different person. Like, who the hell is this lady? Is your name still Karen? Like, is this your name? Damn, then I used to look so great at the office, and then now you want me to choke? Never mind. I'm not.
Back to the choking.
Subscribe to Lucky Marie's channel. Shout out to Lucky Marie. This is not Lexi. It's not Lexi's show. We're not gonna say stuff we shouldn't say. Shout out to Thanos. What's going on, my guy? Yeah, we out here. Dirty Folk says, nah. Leave that tollering on social media. That's not vulnerable. That's people telling 5% of the story. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Malcolm says we have to stop. I'm dying. What you say? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to talk about a whole other thing about. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm sure you have, unless you've been under a rock. How women are now the people with wrongsters, right? And we're the same people asking for honesty from men, but does he know that you saved him in the phone as the food guy? Does the guy coming to dick you down know you have a food guy? It's like, are we practicing the transparency that we are preaching for the men to start implementing? So it's a lot of hypocrisy. Again, we've been saying this the entire life. Just be honest, both sides. Be honest. Be honest about your flaws, and be honest about your strengths. Have your hard nose. It's back to the BDSM guideline. Establish what it is that you want, and that will help get rid of some of the issues that we're having in a lot of our relationships.
Like what Roxy said. I don't know if somebody's in the if I got a mod in the chat. Put Melanated and Canada Productions. That's the channel that she with in the chat. Their channel in the chat, please. She said everybody needs to be on the same page up front, so there are no losses. Facts. I don't even like my exes. Like I've been retired for about close to 4 years, and I've been in peace. So but you keep communication, and it's no disrespect. It's disrespect as it relates to us, like because they know I don't be on that. But it ain't the crazy. I'm about to come key your car because I'm honest with them. I was honest with them up front. The communication levels is really high. One of them not so much. The last one absolutely awesome. We had a great conversation the other day. She in her relationship, she lived down, whatever. She lived in Georgia, or whatever. But when you're honest, you're upfront. You don't take in damage, like Roxy was saying. Right. Yeah. I know. What's her name on YouTube? I don't know what her actual. Okay, Roxanne. Okay, I'm sorry. Like she was saying, there's no. You don't take any losses. You don't take no damage because I don't know if it was you or Natasha. I think both y'all said it. You're supposed to be adding as a woman in a relationship. I'm supposed to look to you as an ad. So if I'm looking as an asset, I'm not. I don't. Why do I take a loss? We should both walk away. And I should. We're designed to walk away from the relationship that we were in. Plus, if you're not plus, then somebody was a negative. And if you're a negative at 20 something years old and plus, you got some other problems. That's not good. Like how the hell you live this long? And you just take away from everything. Like you got some other problems that you really need to focus on because you gonna hurt somebody or something, or somebody gonna hurt you. So I think I've learned to be an asset. There's no woman that I've been with in the last 10 years that can say that they gave me more than I gave them. I take pride in that. I make sure everybody adds. I've been doing etymology. I do a bunch of shit. Health stuff. Big on health. I'm big on health the most. I ain't gonna say that a lot to you. Health is like the biggest fucking shit in my life. I don't like when people are not healthy. It means a lot to me to make sure everybody's healthy. If I told you once, I probably told you 100 times. So I make sure they're healthy. Make sure they know where to go, the words, the herbs, how to eat, the system. You know what I'm saying? And I get offended if you're not getting better. Like I expect for me to, if I get out of your life and you're not improving, I'm offended. I ain't gonna say that a lot to you. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that. Like Malcolm said, preach Savannah. This is past Savannah. That's what I'm gonna call it. Passer. Let me put that in the thing. That's gonna be that nice. Let me go ahead and type that in right now. And make sure, listen, y'all hit the cash app now. Come on now. This pretty cost. You see that's not like regular, but you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to support the car now. Support the car now. You know them Southern girls. Yeah, that's right. You know how they say down south. He said you got to start giving. I was about to read somebody else's comment. You got to start giving folks the 1,000-yard stare. Yeah, on the spiritual side of the game, if you into that, which should be in forefront anyway. Facts. Yeah, man, you gotta keep shit a stack. He said we have to stop making deception a sport, especially in our community, because that first statement right there that's his show, bro. We have to stop making deception a sport, bro. I literally did that in the neighborhood that I grew up in. I am a king of this deception. I will slide up on you in a heartbeat. You'll never know I'm right there. It's the truth. Like he's not lying. Like we really, when you deception becomes like it consumes you. And that's what I was talking about earlier. I'd be thinking I can get away with. When I was younger, I was thinking I can get away with everything because it's easy to deceive people. Because people, and this is how, and it's a F you to all the devils that walk around this planet. And I've been saying it. And Brother Bernard, if you're watching right now on the replay, he always brings this up. I say the number one enemy is not the devil. It's not Shaitan. It's not the white man. It's comfort. It's easy to deceive people. The number one enemy in existence is comfort. People have a desperation to be comfortable. The gazelle loses his young in the wild because of comfort. Men stick their penis in children because of comfort. People steal because of comfort. People destroy relationships because of comfort. Comfort is the most vicious, violent, despicable, evil thing in existence. It is the worst thing of all time. It's the number one enemy of all time. And people's susceptibility to comfort makes you, or I guess preference to comfort makes you susceptible to deception. And it's an enemy, man. So he says in our community, because we have much more to lose in the new era of pomp and circumstance through social media. I agree with you, especially with the first part. Spaces says, y'all told me that polygamy sounds like putting 2 bags of tea in 1 pitcher of water. I can go with that. I think you're throwing shade, but I like that because it's potent.
I like my tea strong.
You got to calm down. That's what I'm saying. It got to be strong. But it's just gonna be. It is, but you're gonna be healthy now. Your pee gonna be clear. You need to go drink some water. Your piss shouldn't smell like that. You know how the old lady say, it shouldn't smell like that. Why it smell like that in here? It shouldn't smell like that. Why it smell like that?
This all sounds very specific.
Yeah. So I used to drink a lot of sodas. I'm just going to stop my story right there. Drink a lot of sodas.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's definitely me. Yeah.
To your point, though, and I'm going to misquote the Bible verse, but when I was a child, I acted as a child, right? So on and so forth. Now that you're grown, you act as, a grown person. You said you were a lot meaner when you were younger. My example is more like a stealth example. I don't think I was really big on lying. I'm really bad at it today. Like I look away, like I look in different places, I giggle, like you'll know if I'm lying, right? So there's like no point for me as an adult. But as a kid, I used to be in Air Cadets. I think in the States you call this ROTC, like it's like military teenagers. And
Gotcha.
once we learned how to march, like march in time, and do drills, I used to, on public streets, walk in the same cadence as the person in front of me so that they wouldn't hear me behind them. And I thought it was the most hilarious thing to be stealthy and just scare people, right? Once they finally knew that I was behind them. But again, all that to say, like, that's a childish game, right? And being stealthy is not an attribute or something that you're going to want to perfect as an adult. It's not going to be a helpful practice for you, right? So if you're mature, again, I think I've said it like 10 times in this conversation, it doesn't matter the relationship dynamic, monogamy, polygamy, polyamory, operate in truth, in honesty, and it's just going to work a whole lot better for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Y'all better take that away. Like if y'all don't take that away, y'all goofy. Be honest, man. It can't be said enough. Like you something wrong with you. Like you need to be checked. Like in your brain. Like how they used to do back in Africa. Like cut your brain open, see if there's something in there. Natasha, you don't have IG, right?
No, my running joke is my IG is on my guy's phone. He's got IG, quote unquote.
I know that's right. That's so obvious. Listen, this is the best channel on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that y'all asking for women, they're actually saying it on this channel. So subscribe, like, comment. You know what I'm saying? Natasha, I appreciate having you go. Savannah,
Thank you.
We had everything. Yeah, we don't want to hold you because you said you had something to do, and we just keep you at this point because you're beautiful. I ain't gonna say that lie to you because everybody's just enjoying it. I listen. I love chocolate. I ain't gonna say that a lot. All my first everything used to be light skin, all of it, like all of it. So I think I'm done with light skin in my life, and I just love chocolate. But my grandmom is right. She's Puerto Rican Italian, so she's super light. So my dad is like a little light, but then everybody else is chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else, my grandmother, mom, granddad, my dad's dad. Yeah. So I appreciate it. Like you don't be knowing how fine people are when they be in the chat. Because then nobody know I was just cute. I didn't even know because I was hid behind all the damn hair. Like I had a damn nigger forest on my head with the ER. So definitely, I don't know. It's up there. I don't want to hold you, but we could drop the link if you want and hear perspective. But if you gotta go, you can go. You too, Savannah. I know pretty people. Y'all be having such a. Y'all be having to go to the pretty store and get hit the Cash App. Look, that's all this. Listen, look at this. This is you gotta. We'll just go ahead. Yeah, you about to get put on the spot.
Savannah's good. I'm good. If you're good.
I probably have another 20 minutes if we're gonna.
Yes, we're listening.
If we're gonna open up the line, I have about another 20 minutes. If not, if you need to go, Natasha, we can close it out.
No. She said like look what's going on here. Like this is pure beauty over here.
Whoop, whoop.
You know what I'm saying? What little podcast we're talking about? Just how beautiful women are. Like look at this. This shirt, everything.
I will put the link in the chat.
Will you?
Yes.
I think I'll beat you to it. Let me see if I'm faster than Savannah.
No, you definitely are.
Cause I'm not. Cause Gail be trashing me. I ain't gonna sit down. I ain't never seen nobody that fast in my life.
I know.
Yes, hit the them cash apps going across the. It's the other way. Like that way. Guys, please hit a one in the chat if you enjoyed the stream. Hit a 2 or anything else if you didn't. When you do hit the 2, I'm on my podcast shit right now. If you hit the 2 or anything else, it's a button at the top left. You hit like the back button, or you can hit the YouTube button and then go wherever the fuck you were before you came here, because that's my guy. And then it's just a fashion show at this point. Well, I think we had an amazing conversation. I think definitely be prepared to see. Definitely be prepared to see clips of this. Most of the content creators that sub, you guys are free to do reactions and stuff. And a lot of people are talking, but we're working over here. And like I said, women like this is a gotta use always one. And so what's crazy about you, though, Zone? You know what's crazy?
There's the door. Goodbye.
Jenny, delete your comment on putting his channel for us since he wants to be a job turkey sauce. So we can do this. We could do this. You know what we can do? We can put y'all back in. Put y'all back in the situation. So what are you guys wearing today? Like the fashion show. Like what inspired that style, the color, like the background. What's going on? This is just ghetto hoodie, Carrera shades, haircut, and that's it. We have it much easier than y'all, so we do appreciate. Because we ask about, for natural beauty, and we see the natural beauty over here, so I'm appreciating it. So what went into? So, Natasha, would you like to start? Ain't nobody know you was this fine. I just gonna let you know that right now. Nobody had no idea.
Okay.
I had no idea. Thank you, because yes.
I don't have anything special going on. This is my small home office. I've got whiteboards on either side of me, little pumpkin theme going on because it's fall. And after this, I'm going to my grandparents' house because in Canada, this is Thanksgiving weekend. So yeah, we're going to yeah. And I think you guys have Columbus Day on Monday, right? In the States?
Huh. Yeah. They try to change it to Indigenous Day, but I'm offended, so. Okay. I didn't know that.
We had our Reconciliation Day or Day of Reconciliation last week. So this week is Thanksgiving, which for our family just means food, pie, jerk chicken, oxtail, all that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm doing this afternoon and evening.
Okay. When inspired the faux locks to this? Like, why is it to this side and not the other side? Like, okay. When you, I don't know why I have to do this with my hands, but I like it so much. It just makes me do it like this.
I didn't pick a side on purpose. I just, it's easier on one side instead of like covering the whole face. Then I look like It. Isn't there a movie with It? Like there's a monster that has like hair all over its face. Yeah. So I don't want to do all that.
It's just I thought you were trying to just show how the cheekbone just catches the light and because of the chocolate right there and the beauty, and then makes it. That's what I was thinking was going on.
I didn't put that much thought into it, but thank you.
You didn't put it. Yeah, I think I was doing too much. So what's up with the So what color is that? Because you got the. It's like
this
it's a maroon.
Is burgundy.
Like that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to be into
it's
the
a dress, a long sleeve turtleneck dress that goes down to my knees because I'm going to grandma's house. We can't be a scandal. So yeah, I'm dressed modestly, which I kind of dress modest anyway. I'm neo-conservative in my dress, or neo-classic. So yes, this is the outfit today.
Savannah, what inspired the look? We appreciate you, Natasha. What inspired the? Even camming up. When you camming up 2 days in a row, you on a roll now.
Yeah, it took a while for my hair to dry. I had the bright idea of putting these teeny tiny braids in so I could get some more definition, and it just backfired on me. So I spent a good hour, maybe two, in the bathroom trying to get that situated. But
If this
yeah,
is
this is
backfiring, this is great. That's the best backfire ever. My
Ain't that
goodness.
something? I'll tell
thank
you.
you.
I'll tell you.
I'm
I'm trying
supposed
to.
to be
I'm
going
trying
to
to.
the gym later today and possibly the pool. So yeah.
Cause ain't that something? I'm in Baltimore. That would never happen. If I go to the pool, I'm gonna die. Um. So that's the hit. So what's the
Um, this is my cover up. I'm literally going to the pool right after this, and then I'm gonna hit the
oh?
gym, or the other way around. It just depends. The weather's kind of
Okay.
nice today, so I'm hoping to get a little tan.
Well,
I can get a little
what?
massage. Yeah.
Well, that's what's up. I know I had to take a little bit of time out to appreciate the opulence. Um.
Thank
But
you.
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about what you're wearing. You told us about the Cavalli glasses. You're
Mhm.
really hiding this fresh cut that you got. I'm not sure why, but like break down your look for us today.
Yeah. So, um, what really inspires me is being ghetto. Not really. I like looking like I might run up on you and shoot. So what inspired it was actually I got fussed out because once I got my hair cut, I had immediately put my head, hoodie back on, and my homeboy was like, "Bro, can you at least get out my sight before you hide it?" I had did all this work. He did do a lot of work, so I hide it because um, I don't want nobody's daughter to get pregnant over the internet, and then I have to take responsibility for a child because I do believe in backspace babies. So we'll definitely hit
So
the backspace babies on it. I don't believe in the child deletions, but like well, we'll backspace a virtual baby, and I don't feel no way about that. So it's just a regular hoodie from the store. I forgot what store I got it from, and and that's pretty much it. These Carrera shades. These my favorite ones. The only one out. Y'all need to sponsor me. Like, what? I can't. It's I need to be. Yeah, but Carrera. Yeah, send me some. I've been representing y'all, so just send me some money. And that's pretty much it. I don't. I think these headphones are like $5. Yeah, exactly. Backspace virtual babies. Yeah, backspace babies. All these virtual babies will get backspace. I'm not responsible if y'all get pregnant for looking at me over the internet. I'm tired of people putting babies on me that don't belong to me. I can't take it. So, shout out to CJ. He said Savannah is just y'all got fans. Malcolm said, "You mean you know how to dress like an adult?" Facts. Natasha is an adult, and Savannah, I knew that was coming. Her phone acts crazy. So, did you enjoy?
Always great conversation with you. Doubly so for Savannah. She's a great
Mm-hmm.
person. I see her modding as well in this space. I always see you chatting, having really insightful conversations on different panels. You
That's
keep
pretty
saying
kind.
you're ghetto, but I haven't really seen it yet. So maybe in the future I'll see it and I'll call it out. But up until now, I really enjoy the conversation. So thank you for having me on the channel and
Absolutely.
Savannah for making this space as well.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming. You're definitely a lady that commands respect, not in an aggressive masculine way, just how you carry yourself. Um, and then speaking to you, just top shelf the entirety. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm glad I waited as long as I. Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Brittany.
Yes, this is Natasha, the Natasha Vincent. said, it's a world class. You just going too far. Hey, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I just do what makes sense the best I can. I think, Natasha brings a level of maturity and respect and class and prestige to the space, and it needs to be highlighted. Because I'm as I've done in this live, I'm critical of women, right, or females, whatever you want to call it. I actually don't talk about women, I talk about females. But if I can open my big old mouth in a negative way, then I have the equal responsibility to open my mouth and open things up for women that are respectable, like yourself, Brittany. People be telling me you be saying I've never seen her act up, never, not one time. So I don't know. I don't know your
Brittany is
reposition.
funny. Yeah, she's a funny
Yeah,
person.
she's
And
fucking.
I definitely think there is space for critique for everyone. I am the type of person, I'll probably take critique better than compliments because there's something that
Oh,
I can work towards, right? Not to say that I want
okay.
people to be mean to me. I don't, but there's more work to do or more things that you can do with critique. I think Brittany is the same way. She's very funny, like she'll roast, but she does it in a very like feminine way, in a fun way. Savannah has got these views, which she says are very contrarian. And I was like, well, I guess it depends on the rooms that you're in. But no matter what she shares, she does it in a very soft way. You are automatically receptive to what she's saying because she's got this intelligence, this youthful energy. So you can't help but like, hang on to her every word. But I also think she's the type of person that would receive, critique as well as compliments. So
Yeah, she
don't
takes
hold
the.
back is my point.
Yeah, she takes criticism very well. You know, I'm hard on everybody around me. I ain't gonna say that a lot to you. But she definitely takes criticism very well, and I really like what you said because when you get criticism, it gives you work to do. When you get compliments, it's like, and I'm really not big on compliments to be honest with you. I say it enough about myself. I don't know. I'm good. I heard me say it like 90 times before you told me today. Yeah, that many times is bad. So I don't really be needing it, but I really be trying to figure out what do you need me to do so I can get it done.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I never grew up needing I never grew up with a confidence issue because people always validated me. You know what I'm saying? People always told me I was handsome, or told me I worked hard, or told me I was talented. So I'm not that person that need that. But that made me think this now when you said that. Brittany B says, first Lexi, now Natasha. I just can't contain myself. You don't have to. You can come up. You free to come up. Yeah. I appreciate the cash app yesterday. I don't know if you was still on. I think you had left. I gotta make sure you see it. And I ain't gonna hold you. I'll tell you what I did with it. Hold on. Yeah, when we get cash apps, when we get super chats, when we finally get monetized, this is what we're gonna play.
We bar $20 to the mall.
Let me borrow $20 to the mall. You know how they do. Not an old men do, but yeah. The cash apps that come in on days like this on the weekends, it goes to the ladies. They don't go to me. Like y'all send it to me, I'm gonna send it to them. Transparent like that. That's why I asked you earlier. I send it to you. I don't make me no difference. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do stuff. I want to see people win. Fair deal. I do just be doing stuff and they don't be doing shit right. I don't want to be a part of that. Roxy says, "You ladies are amazing, Savannah and Natasha." See, that's what I'm talking about. You know what make this great? If Jenny came up. If Jenny came up, this is the greatest live of all time. That'd be perfect.
I want
That'd be
Jenny to show us her knee pillows. I'm curious to see
that
how
would be
those are going.
so great if Jenny would come. If Jenny would just come, that would be so amazing. If Jenny would just hit the button and then come up. Jenny, come. That's my seductive. That's what I'm saying. Just come. Trying to earn the Jenny mode. Ain't like when Jenny come with you, that's when you know you lit. That's when you provide her. She only went on one person's panel on purpose, and that was Brother Bernard. I know I'm way more raunchy than Brother Bernard. Super galactic. You said I'm just going super galactic ghetto, but just look. Hola mi amor. So we one of the things we're gonna implement is another Lexi show. It's gonna be in Spanish. So y'all that know Spanish, for them to speak Spanish, you definitely welcome. We wanted to kind of do it today, but I don't know if it's gonna work. We got some other stuff we want to implement. Reason why I would do it on my channel is because I'm actually Puerto Rican. I've said it a few times, but I don't know fucking Spanish, right? So the chances of me going to a Spanish channel when I don't watch TV is really, really low. And I don't even know how to type a Spanish channel, and I don't even know what I'm listening to. So if I have actual people that can actually translate what they say, then I can like pick it up. Like, you know how kids do. I feel like I can pick it up eventually, and I can learn Spanish. I don't know any Puerto Ricans to my knowledge. Jenny and what?
Jenny.
Hi
Nice
guys.
to see you.
Jenny Moreno.
Hello.
Montes. How you doing, Jenny?
How are you?
Awesome. Listen.
Oh,
I appreciate you coming up.
my government name is up there. Hold on.
Oh,
Look away,
yeah.
everyone. Look away.
Avert your eyes. You just got
Who's
all
that?
the baddies over here.
Listen, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. As they say, I'm lucky. Y'all did it, ain't me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't believe in me. God did. Y'all got a right to put me off of YouTube for that. Listen, that was enough right there. I ain't gonna sit to lie to you. I definitely want to get her take on it. She's in monogamy. That'd be perfect. There we go. We back. There we go. Jenny, hold on. What am I doing? Savannah, what we doing? We gotta get the music.
What's up, guys?
The champ is here! The champ is here!
We got I'm literally have all the best top 4 mods in this space have all came and cammed up. Gail, Jenny, Natasha, Savannah. I'm the best of them. I ain't gonna say that lie to you. Yeah, man.
What did I miss?
You know why it's funny? Because he lied. He not lying. He right. That was horrible. Yeah, I had I was trying to be DJ Khaled for a second and I failed. What's going on, Jenny? What do you think about the show? What do you think about any of the topics? I appreciate you coming up.
It was a great show. A lot of good information, a lot of great perspectives, looking at things, from different angles, and I enjoyed it. I'm like, I never thought of things like that. So when things can make you, turn your head a little, it makes your wheels turn. It makes you want to think of things in a different way, or be more open, or more susceptible to other things.
Yes, I always want to. Go ahead, Savannah.
Do you have it? I don't know if you saw the poll that was in the chat, but I'm curious to see what you selected.
I picked both of them.
Both of them? Okay.
Both of them. So you gotta get people out. I learned that. You gotta get people a little out. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't just, you know what I'm saying? You said you trying to cam up? Hey, if Jenny Moreno can cam up, everybody can cam up. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no reason.
This will be my second time with you, Noble.
Yeah, because we was on Bernard's.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm special now. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I don't give a nobody say nothing.
Don't tell anybody.
No, I don't. Nobody will know. Never. Nobody will ever see it. We just gonna be up here. So, yeah, I think this was a great conversation. I'm glad Savannah brought this question up because I was gonna do videos, but lives are way easier to do than videos because you don't know when that video gonna come out, and then you gotta edit, and then I'd be messing up the edits. And then I gotta do all the metadata, and then it's way better to do it. And then y'all way prettier than me. You know what I'm saying? I literally look like a Puerto Rican drug dealer. I really do. So, y'all make the live way better. We have, so I know, you know what I'm saying? Look at this. Yeah, I look like I sell drugs. I really do. I look like I sell drugs. I look like they don't let me in the office because I have credit card scams on my my history. What'd you say, Natasha?
Or you can look like a gentleman who is well-to-do, casually enjoying a day after yachting. He's listening to his financial services podcast. That's why he's got his headphones in. That's what I see. So I don't know. That's just me.
What about now?
You see?
I was told I look like the Negro Unabomber earlier. I didn't appreciate it.
I didn't want to laugh at that, but it was kind of funny.
It was funny, right? Or a male stripper.
Yes.
Which one? Unabomber or male stripper? Which one I look like, Jenny?
The latter.
Well,
I do like a male stripper. This is what they wear. I shit you not. We got Lexi Maxwell in the building too. Lexi, look what we have. So before Jenny popped up, kind of letting people know that we were doing this. I'm gonna invite Poppy and Lou and obviously Jenny. I've talked to Jenny about it already. Mandrell knows Spanish. Anybody that knows Spanish to speak Spanish, I want to learn it. And then, yeah, because I love Spanish. Well, I love Latin actually. Latin is my friend. But definitely like I said with you ladies, and obviously Jenny and Lexi is a lady. I want to provide a space for the Spanish culture that we seem to have, Latin culture that we seem to have in a space that that you guys can come and be free. And you be in a place where bullshit going on. You have what I'm saying, you can all meet, because I don't see that. Poppy go live. Like he barely goes live ever. So I don't see a space where I can just come and listen to Spanish, because in my city, it's just in the southeast of Baltimore, where they have a lot of Mexicans. There's no Puerto Rican culture to my knowledge.
I gotta go, guys.
Bye, Jenny.
Gotta go. All right, Jenny.
Thank you for coming up.
Appreciate you so much. So see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I need in my life. Do you know Spanish? Well, I know you know French, Natasha. You know Spanish too?
I'm learning Spanish, and it's a little bit easier for me, perhaps, than for you, because no French, right? There's a lot of similarities between the languages, right, but I still have a long way to go.
Yeah, I have all the ways to go: the short way, and the long, and potentially impossible. I was just told now you look like an informant on Miami Vice, and I like the joke. It's thorough, but I don't like you now, so. I hope that later when you go to fart, that it don't be fart. I wish that for you. I don't want things to go well for you. I hope your lunch ends up in your pants and it comes down your leg. And I don't like you now. So I don't appreciate that, because you put a lot of thought in that and hurt my feelings on the inside. No, I didn't. I'm fucking with you. Yeah. So it's the greatest live ever. Savannah.
Well,
in Latin, that would be a W. There's no V sound. So. You supposed to do. Yeah, don't laugh. Don't laugh, because we are arch enemies now. We're arch enemies. Is that French?
Oui, carrément, Lexi. Merci.
Jesus Christ. She know French too? Like, what's this? Like, what are you, assassin? Why do you know everything? Golly, Lexi. You're Asian or something? Like, you amazing. Like, what the hell? She knows like all the stuff, the BDS stuff. She a real estate agent. She been with the mob. Like, golly, you're amazing. What did she say? What is this? What is this?
She said, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Natasha."
Huh. And was it?
You're welcome, Natasha. Because I said to her, same to you, or ditto. So thank you. And then she said, "You're welcome."
Ditto is French?
Ditto is French?
Yeah. Is it?
Are you asking me? I'm asking you. Are you asking me?
I'm pretty sure
I said pareillement. Pareillement, the translation would be same to you, or ditto.
Oh, okay. You was translating.
Yes.
Okay. I had no idea. I thought I didn't. Okay. French weirds me out. I don't understand. Like, even when she wrote this, like, this stresses me. This is like, I can't explain to you how this is stressing me out. I don't even know how to begin to go about explaining that. So that's why I want to do Spanish channel. Definitely want to open the space. Same thing with you ladies, that you guys are, that first of all, I acknowledge you, and the people that's in this space, especially with the FBA versus immigrant conversation that's going on. I have the same principle. When you have people that are being supportive, like Poppy, like Lou, like Jenny, like Lexi, provide a space where they can, speak freely. And I have some ideas about the opportunities that exist on YouTube for the Spanish speaking culture, and we'll reveal them later. But Savannah, yes, go ahead. What was you saying? Definitely can close this out.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who came up and was participating in the chat. I really appreciate you guys, especially the ladies. This is a very efficient and successful conversation. I think we got a lot of different opinions and different perspectives. I really appreciated the neutrality that you brought, Natasha, to the conversation, and especially with, somebody like Noble on the panel who is very one-sided. I'm definitely looking forward to the Spanish show. I think we could even branch into doing some French, apparently, since Lexi and Natasha have that going on. That could be very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next live on Sunday. We're going to be talking about chameleons in this space. I'm definitely going to be name dropping, just so everybody's aware. I do not like beating around the bush, so be prepared for that show. It will be an open panel. All the smoke, you can bring it over here. But thank you guys for listening. My ghetto's coming out.
Yes. My young apprentice, Eval.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this show, and everybody make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Noble, you can close us out with your little thing.
Yes. You know what I say, it ain't but two classes on this planet, never been three. You a world class or you outclass. And the question is not which class you want to live in. The question is which class do the ones coming behind you deserve for you to die in. On your feet, on your knees, respect the craft. Noble.